Hello, hello, hello. What's up this morning, everyone? Welcome. Fine Tuesday to you all, and Aetherdrift spoiler day to y'all. Good to see ya. What is up? The Tone 4G, Labrador, Lefkothman, Jordan X, Corneas. How is everyone doing today? Hopefully, everyone had a amazing weekend and is ready for some new Magic cards. I'm actually getting more and more excited for this. I feel like it's been a long time since we've had any spoilers. I don't know. I'm gonna regret this in like a month because we're gonna have spoilers like every 6 weeks for the rest of the year. But it feels like it's been a long time since we've got to see some new Magic cards. And the more I think about this set, the more I come to like it because we're going to 3 different planes, so we should get a lot of variety. Vehicles are cool, gear hulks and gods. I feel like this set actually might be a bit of a sleeper hit. We'll see. I do also expect we're going to get every vehicle meme possible. Like it's definitely gonna be what Murders at Karlov Manor was, or what Outlaws of Thunder Junction was. Wizards has talked about changing that design philosophy, right? And moving away from like being so direct with their memes, but it's gonna take like a year or two. They designed sets so far ahead that the feedback from last year about maybe chill a little bit with the cowboy hats or whatever, it's gonna take a while to actually filter through the system. But today we're gonna have some fun. So the plan for today, I'm kind of addicted to Plagon. I don't know if you all seen this card? How did I miss this card? This card is insane. Duelist, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup cheer for you. Thank you. Hello, Louisville folks. What's up, Clutch? Good to see you. So I don't know if you've seen this card. I kind of missed it because it was in Jumpstart for Foundations. This card is kind of absurd, right? It's a 3-mana 0/3 Starfish, of all things. When it enters, you draw a card for each creature with toughness greater than its power, and then you can make things butt fight if you want to, like get damage equal to toughness rather than power. This card I totally missed, and this card is absolutely wild. So what we're going to do today, spoilers start in 1 hour, the spoiler stream. So we are going to do a little starfishing in Historic today. Why we wait for spoilers. Spoilers start in an hour. We'll watch the spoiler stream, check out the new cards, and then I'll have to go do a spoiler video for the YouTube. So that's the plan for today, early stream today. I think that's, so actually, I started playing this in Brawl, and we're going to have a Brawl video with Plagon coming up. I started playing it in Brawl, and I tweeted about, oh my god, this card's actually kind of absurd. And it was a bunch of CDH players that were like, yeah, this card's great. It's actually like one of the best new CDH commanders. So apparently it is a CDH card. I thought about building it for Commander. What do you think, chat? Is it just too strong? Like, I show up at your commander table with Plagon. Are you like, oh, that's cool, I'm excited to see this? Or are you like, oh my god, it's a blink deck, you're gonna eat up all the time? I don't know if it would be fun. I'm afraid it's gonna be like Brago or like Preston, like the blink decks that I build because I love blink decks, and then I play them like once or twice, and then I feel too bad and I stop playing them because they just monopolize all the time. But maybe it'd be a good Commander Clash deck. Plus, I mean, it's a Starfish. It is pretty cute. So anyway, let's do our reminders real quick. I think it would be fun. Ooh, Pride of the Hulk lad, that's a good one. Replay YouTube, that's where you can find all the old streams, including this one in the future. How come it's better than Arcades? So, the Power Plagon, when you read this card, the butt fighting part is actually not that important. Like, what makes this card insane is its card advantage. I mean, maybe we'll see it a little bit here in Historic, but okay, I'll show you the Brawl deck. Let me show you the Brawl deck and it'll make a lot of sense. So this is coming up for a Brawl video in the future. I've been working on it. But what you really want to do with Plagon, oh, I hope he did, because I didn't watch that video, but I hope he did. So what you want to do with Plagon is you just play dorky creatures that have higher toughness and power. You're not trying to build it like Doran, where you're like, I'm going to play all this super high toughness stuff. You're just playing like Guide of Souls, Novice Inspectors, anything that's like a 1-mana 1/2, a 2-mana 1/2, Dower Port Mage. So all you really want to do is go like 1-drop with high toughness, 2-drop with high toughness, Plagon, draw 3 cards, which is already insane. And then you play a bunch of Blink like Cloud Shift and Ephemera, and then there's like Blink Plagon, draw 3 more cards, and then you play a couple more creatures, and you Blink Plagon, and you're drawing like 5 cards, and it just generates the most insane amount of card advantage, and then you figure out how to win somehow. But that is essentially my plan for winning with Plagon. It snowballs way harder and faster than Arcades does. Affinity to Squirtle, welcome to the Fishbowl for the 40th month. Thank you for your subscription. Wait, is Flygon a Pokemon? I didn't even know that. I gotta learn more about Pokemon in case anyone tries to fight me at Costco. I gotta be up on it. We're not playing the Brawl deck today. We're playing some Historic today. The Brawl deck is coming for a video though. So normal YouTube, tons of stuff coming up. Spoiler season, daily spoilers all this week, all next week. Also, Tomer will be covering the Commander stuff on the Commander YouTube. A reminder that our sponsor today is Card Kingdom. If you need some magical cards, you can go over at cardkingdom.com/mtggoldfish. If you get a free goldfish sticker, just let them know you want one in your order notes and you'll pick them up. Oh, Ether, okay. Yeah, we should watch the trailer. Okay, let's watch the Aetherdrift trailer. This will also let us narrow down the audio. You can let me know. You can let me know how the audio levels are here. Hang on, let's see. So here is the trailer. Here's the trailer for Aetherdrift. How's the audio of them compared to me? I imagine they're way too low. Is that better? I feel like this trailer a little low. Higher still.
10 teams, 3 worlds.
How about that? Is it any better? Still low?
Then join the Girapur Grand Prix, and this could be
louder
you.
Still? Okay, hopefully.
Not him.
Okay, that's good. Okay. I feel like
chance for fantastic glory and
this trailer is pretty
riches.
mid.
Like the Aetherdrift,
like
this year's legendary prize. It's worth the risk.
I am very curious what Aetherdrift is gonna do. The art's like kind of loot.
And push your pedal
Like,
past its limits.
friggin' loot. Cannot get away from loot no matter what.
Of the Girapur Grand Prix.
I mean,
frankly, because we're running out of racers.
So I think they're going for like a lighter tone.
It's only a death race if you die.
They're going for a lighter tone.
Warning, the Girapur Grand Prix is incredibly dangerous and will likely result in your untimely death. We are not
I still feel like this trailer is like, I don't know.
Drive at your own risk. This message has been paid.
I would give it like a C tier maybe. Like, I feel like Wizards has done some really good trailers. Throne of Eldraine, War of the Spark. This is not on that level for me. I think it's fine. It's cool to see, like, is it Zender Split or like Flibblethip, whoever the homunculus is. Like, there's some nice aspects of it, but I feel like, I don't know. I feel like it's a pretty like mid trailer. I imagine that they're going, and we've seen this time and time again, and this is actually one of my biggest criticisms of Universes Beyond, is I imagine they're going all out for Final Fantasy and for Spider-Man. Like, for the Universes Beyond, we even see it with the Commander decks, right? With the Commander decks, if it's a Magic Commander deck, you know, whatever, we can throw it together real quick, you know, it'll be fine. But when it's a Universes Beyond Commander deck, it's a banger. All the cards are new. They're all got new art. So I feel like maybe we're going to see really good trailers for the Universes Beyond sets. And then the Magic sets, you know, we got to do a trailer, but let's just do it real quick. Spoilers start in 52 minutes. There's a stream at noon we will watch to see the spoilers. In the meantime, we're going to do a little Playgotting as we talk about things. So what is this deck trying to do? This is Historic Playgod. And it's kind of this, I don't even know, like 4-color mid-range pile of stuff. Like, what we are trying to do with the deck is kind of what we talked about with Brawl. Play cheap high toughness creatures, draw a ton of cards with Playgod. Stuff like Writhing Chrysalis makes a bunch of high toughness creatures, so we draw even more cards, and then eventually we just overwhelm our opponent with Fecund Green Shell, our one Emrakul. Haven't played Historic in a minute. How is Historic bad? I'm actually curious. Oh boy. SpongeBob. Not SpongeBob. Has anyone been playing Historic lately? I feel like I haven't played Historic in forever, but I don't think this deck would work in Timeless. I feel like this is one of those decks that threads the needle where it's like not busted enough for Timeless, but maybe about right for Historic. Because I feel like stuff like Bowmasters is really good, really, really good against against our Starfish. Hey Seth, hope's all been well. Loved watching you open the collector booster boxes. If you haven't seen those collector booster boxes, we got in. Are we gonna keep? Yeah, we're gonna keep this. We can use. Hopefully they don't kill the Mana Dork, and then we can use Malevolent Rumble to hit another land, so it should be fine. Let's just play the birds. I don't know if you watched the opening video. We got insane. This deck, Brewers here. This deck sucks. See, I just started playing it. I just started playing it this morning. So I tweeted about how I will say, I kind of want to cut this thing. Can I cut this thing, Dex Creator? Because I try to not play any alchemy cards, but I just used your full list, so I didn't change anything. But I kind of want to cut this just because it's an alchemy card, and you gotta have a code, right? We're gonna take the land, play the land, get down the lighted halfling. Man, if we can find a starfish, like this, even right this shows just how insane the starfish is. It's turn 2. We have 3 creatures on the battlefield that'll trigger. So if we just draw our starfish, we draw 4 cards for 3 mana, and we get a body on the battlefield. It's so ridiculous. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, okay, we're gonna exile the tiny bones, scry draw for a land, I think. Or do we make So there's gotta be a discard deck. Huh. No, I'm not gonna replace it with Grace. No. No, it's just a one-of. It's just a one-of. Do we make... Yeah, we're gonna scry draw for a land. I think we do want to get rid of the tiny bones. And then we're just going to scry draw to hit our land drop. We're going to dump all of our mana into this. So scry draw, exile tiny bones. Oh no. Oh no. Well, okay. Not a land, but we're going to keep Plagon, which will definitely draw us a land next turn. Oh, I can't believe we didn't hit a land there. About it. Bandit's Talent. Okay, we can outdraw this. We can outdraw a Bandit's Talent. We'll just discard the actually, let's discard this 6. We're not going to have extra lands to discard for a minute. No Thoughtseas, please. No Thoughtseas. Okay, opponent's going to level up. That's fine. That is fine. So now we get to play... Oh, boy. Even better. So, let's play Plagan. Yes, please. Draw 3 with the Starfish. And then... I don't think we've drawn enough yet. We haven't drawn enough. Let's just copy the Plagan. Draw 3. There's our lands. And we will discard a halfling? The Starfish is so ridiculous. Did you see the Pioneer deck that won the big tournament was like $60? Wait, what deck was this? I think I missed that. What was the $60 Pioneer winning deck? Oh, the Scurio combo's cool. Opponent gets a tiny bones again. Well, at least we got rid of the shield. Oh, another one. We want to wait though. We want to wait. Oh, we need red mana. How do we get red mana? Let's just play the fecund green shell. Right now we are playing some Starfish and also turtles apparently. Soon, spoilers. Spoilers coming at noon. Hey, what's up, Lucid? How are you? So chat, I always ask you this. Scale of 1 to 10, hype level, Aetherdrift. 45 minutes from spoiler season. 1 to 10, where you at? Where you at, chat? Where you at? Go blank. Come on now, opponent. Come on now. Well, and we'll just draw our way out of it. Discard you, discard you. Opponent exiles our graveyard. Sure. And scoops it up. 1. Oh, wow. Okay. Interesting. So I see a couple of 9s, but I also see some negatives. Hoping we see dual face cards. Maybe. It's possible. I mean, dual face cards can show up anywhere. This is historic we're playing at the moment, which is kind of in between. Normally I play Timeless. I'm not convinced this deck would be great in Timeless. I think it might be a little too fair for Timeless. I'm mostly just like, in Timeless, everyone plays Orcish Bowmaster, and Orcish Bowmaster is really good against this deck. So Historic lets us dodge that. Kallian, at least the unrebalanced version. So no one plays it since it's been rebalanced. Kallian, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup cheer for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm very curious. Here's what I'm most excited for. I mean, I'm excited for a lot of this. I'm excited for the gods. I'm excited for Muruganda. I'm excited for going to 3 different planes is really new, cool. But really, New Lotus in the vanilla cycle of Legends, I just don't know how they're going to do that in a way that's exciting. That's very intriguing to me how they're going to do that. And I still have not figured out how I think they're going to. Also, I guess thing number 3, what in the world is the Aetherdrift? Like, what is the Aetherdrift? It looks like a helmet. So the winner of the race gets the Aetherdrift. You put it on the creature and it becomes a planeswalker, I guess? The problem I see with the Aetherdrift is... if it only works when it's equipped to something, I feel like that's going to make it... tricky. Like, if it only works when it's equipped to something, that might make its playability not super high. So I'm curious to see how that actually goes. We'll go down the alchemy card. I guess we get on Phantasmal Image. Let's try it like that. Oh, was I saying Aetherdrift? Yeah, there's too many ethers. There's too many ethers in there. Yes, the Ether Spark, the winner gets if they win the Gurpur Grand Prix from Aetherdrift, right? I think we got there. If it has an addition, yeah, if it's like, that would actually be a cool design. Imagine if it was like, so you can play it and it works like a Planeswalker, and if it's equipped, you get to activate it twice or something, or its abilities are like twice as powerful. That would be a really cool design. I feel like this is going to be better than Murders at Karlov Manor. Spoilers at noon. There's a WotC stream 45 minutes from now. We will get our first taste, our first look. And usually on day one, we get some good stuff. So we should get some good stuff. Oh my God, it's ridiculously. I took a bear out this morning. 1 degree, my car said. One degree. And that's not even including the wind chill. So yes, it is. I'm living in the tundra at the moment. What time is the WotC stream? Noon Eastern time, which is 44 minutes. 44 minutes from now. I don't know, you get used to opponent. Are we playing opponent? You get used to the cold after a while. Negative 20 is brutal. It's brutal. Yeah, good old Chicago in February. Speaking of cold, actually last year it wasn't that bad, or maybe it just didn't seem that bad because I'm used to living in a cold place, but I thought Chicago was going to be even colder than it was. 8 degrees and yeah, that's the East Coast. It is cold at the moment. Yeah, it's 80. Wait, where are you from, Loth? 80 sounds. Actually, 80 is like a little too warm for me. Personally, maybe it just comes from living and growing up in upstate New York, but personally, I would rather have cold than hot. I can deal better with it being cold than I can with it being too hot, I will say. Hey Seth, not sure if you saw my email about my LGS switching for Modern for F&M. I know you used to recommend 8-Wack, but is it still true now? Or is a Boggle stack that you did recently your new recommendation? Ooh, that is a tough question. Johan Levar, welcome to the Fish Bowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big subscription, thank you. Do you plan on going to Chicago? Crim said he didn't, but didn't say if the rest of the crew was coming or not. I believe so. That I am planning on it, yes. It's taking way longer to finalize the plans than I hoped. So it's still like 95% or something rather than 100%. But yes, I'm planning on going. I believe Crim is going. Last I asked him. Tomer, I think, is a maybe. I've heard both things from Tomer. I've heard him say he thought he was going, but then I heard him say maybe not. So I'm not sure if Tomer is going to be there. Pretty sure Richard's not going. I asked Richard about it, but I don't think he's going to make that far of a trip. Maybe we'll all do Vegas in June or whatever, and then maybe Atlanta, perhaps. Hey Seth, so what would I recommend for a budget deck for starting off in Modern? Traditionally, the answer is 8-Wack. The only reason I would not give you that answer right now is, well, it's going to be a really good Starfish. The only reason I would not give you the answer right now is I haven't played it super recently. I haven't played it since Modern Horizons 4. I think it's typically still a really good budget deck, but I would like to test. Wow, this is the power of the star. Look at this. Okay, Fnatic Coronas, and guess what? It's a Starfish. Draw 4 cards on turn 3. It's so insane. Like, I'm actually starting to think this is a mistake card. Like, this card might actually be too good. What does this fake card do? When enters Creatures in your hand perpetually gain when this creature enters. Make a 1/1 green. Okay. Sure. Well, we will. What will we do? I guess play the Crystallis. Let's get down the Crystallis. Make some Eldrazi. What is our opponent's deck? Is this a combo deck? Do we need to be worried about getting comboed? Let's... Yeah, I mean, Stomping Grounds untapped. Birds of Paradise. We're just going to run it out. Run it out and pass the turn. Oh, man, if we can draw one more Starfish, we're off to the races. 40 minutes till previews. Oh, did I say much for? MH3. But yeah, I don't know. What's your recommendation for budget Modern deck right now, chat? That's like actually good in the current meta. So I think the Boggles deck, I think it's fine. You could definitely play it at F&M and have success with it. It kind of does one thing, though, and if you're in the bad matchups, it can go really bad. 8-Whack, I guess, is less like that. I've seen some burn decks that are, like, relatively cheap, which are also, like, tier 3 right now, but yeah, I'm not sure what I would recommend for, like, a $100 budget deck in Modern at the moment. Was watching the Screaming Nemesis Boros Arcaner combo when Abash in the main deck have worked instead of red, Oir card. All the key pieces have odd mana value, I think. One of my regrets from that deck is, wow, opponent's popping off. One of my regrets from that deck is I think we should have played Abash either as a companion. I think we could have made it work as a companion since the key cards are 1s and 3s. So I think we actually could build it as a companion. Or in the main deck, but yes, I don't know how I overlooked Abash when I was building that deck, but yeah, you are correct. Hollow One is cheap-ish. Ooh, okay. Well, let's Cavern. This is gonna be interesting. Cavern on, you know what? Let's just flex with Starfish. Cavern on Starfish. Pass the turn. No attacks. We're going to try to Kozilek's Command into another Plagon and go from there. This is the Starfish. This is the Starfish deck. I'm telling you, Plagon, it's so good. Seth, I thought of you while I was working in LA. I saw Sloan was playing a gig, and I was going to go to the show, but on the day of the performance, I found out that Sloan, in this instance, was actually a female solo artist, not the group. Go figure. Oh, that's kind of hilarious. Oh no, wait, are we dead? How bad is this Yogg for us? It's bad. Is it deadly bad? Wait, so they have 1 treasure, 1 food. They have that, so we can play that. Oh, is there any way around this? So we can Kozilek's Command it, but if they have Chord, well, all right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, exile a creature, scry draw. I don't know if this is going to be enough, but try to snipe the Yogg. Hold. If they have Chord, I think we just lose. Even if they don't have Chord, they can have quite the turn here thanks to Rope Line Attendant of all things. This card's actually kind of wild, isn't it? I didn't realize it was all the creatures in your hand. Yeah, we just gotta hope they don't have it. Alright, opponent. Sacks to draw, kills the birds. Like, even if they don't win here, they're going to leave us in an incredibly bad spot. Like, they pretty much wrath our board, draw a ton of cards. That's the best. That's the best case. The best case is we lose our board and they draw, like, 8. The worst case is we just straight up die. It's so weird. The budget of Modern has changed so much. I actually feel like Modern has gotten way, way, way worse to build on a budget for kind of a sneaky reason. So in the past, the way Modern worked is the lands were really expensive. Do we need to click things? All right, just can we resolve all? All right, there we go. The way that Modern worked in the past is the lands were super expensive. Ay, ay, ay. Well, okay. Bottom, and bottom, and bottom, and bottom, and bottom, and bottom. Yeah, I mean, I guess we just keep the rumble and see if we can rumble into... See if we can rumble into a Plagon to refuel. Yeah, this is not great, not great. So I think the issue is, in the past, lands were really expensive. If you wanted to play Modern, the barrier to playing Modern is you needed to buy $100 Scalding Tarns, $30, $40 Shock Lands. Like, putting together the mana base for a deck, super, super pricey. It's really changed, though. So now the lands are actually pretty affordable, but you need to buy these really expensive recent rares and mythics. Like, if you want to buy Dimir Murktide, the lands actually aren't that bad. Like, a whole playset of Polluted Delta is $60, when before a single Polluted Delta was $60. Like, so the mana base is like a fourth of the price, but now you got to spend $160 on the poor Inoculuses. You got to spend $55 a piece on Force Negations. And the same is true of most decks. Like, it's not the lands that jump the price up. It's you got to spend $200 on Ocelot Pride or whatever the hot new thing is. So I feel like that's made it way harder to build budget decks, because in the past what you do is, yeah, all right, I think, well, yeah, I think they have another one. All right, they just have it. So in the past, what you do is you'd be like, okay, it's gonna suck, but I'm gonna spend all my money to buy the Modern mana base, right? I'm gonna get my fetch lands, my shock lands, my fast lands, whatever I needed. Yeah, it's going to be a huge cost, but then I can kind of build whatever deck I want relatively cheaply. Yes, sometimes you still got to spend $50 on something, but for the most part, you'd be able to build a lot of decks out of that mana base without spending a ton of extra money. Now it's a lot harder because the mythics differ from deck to deck. You're going to have to buy $200 almost of Ocelot Prides if you want to play Boros, but you can't use those Ocelot Prides in Dimir. You're going to have to spend $160 on the Oculuses if you want to play Dimir. If you want to play Eldrazi, you got to spend, $130 on Emeralds. Like, every deck has a card or two that's like that, and that's what makes it really tough to play in a budget. Free spells in Modern were probably a mistake. I think... I mean, I like the Commandeer cycle. I like Commandeer. Hey, what's up, Doug? How are you? I like the Commandeer cycle. I feel like those, like Commandeer, Soul Spike, those are actually sweet free spells. Those I'm glad exist. But I feel like beyond that, free spells have mostly been a negative for the format. Hey, Seth, I've been playing your Explora Ponza list. All right, hang on. Let's sideboard real quick. Go down that. So we need ways to break up their combo, essentially. That's the goal. What else can we cut, though? Maybe we go like 1-6 if we're bringing the rest in pieces. Actually, maybe we go all... Let's go down all the 6s. Let's run it like that. Cool to watch your stream, Seth. Had today off as a teacher due to the cold. Hey, I'm glad you got a day off to watch the stream. It's a good one, too, because we get spoilers coming up. Yeah, the flares, I think they powered down. We'll see long term, but I think they might have given them enough of a restriction that they're okay. Man, this hand is not great. Not great. Hey, Seth, I've been playing your Explore Ponza deck daily, and it's been some of the most fun I've had in Magic in a long time, and I'm happy to report the amount of players who play less than 5 basics has become much lower. Our lessons are doing their work. Okay. I could use the help teaching those arena zoomers about playing the proper amount of basics. Guide us, souls. And oh no. Oh boy, I forgot. Has anyone been playing Timeless lately? I was like, I'm gonna play some Timeless. And it seemed like such a good idea at the time. But then I realized that Timeless is a lot of the cards that were banned out of Modern. All the cards that I was just waiting to get banned out of Modern, they're like the staples of Timeless. Do we scry draw? Actually, let's... Okay. Let's just pass. Let's just pass, see what our opponent does. We can cast Kozilek's Command at instant speed. Seth, when Meryl mentioned visiting mechanics, what are the odds there are creatures that repair vehicles as opposed to card mechanics as it's a racing set? Ooh. Wait, so what would that look like? How would, like, what would the mechanic look like for a creature to repair a vehicle? I could see, like, returning a vehicle from your graveyard to your hand. It would be neat if there were creatures that somehow buffed the vehicles. That would kind of have the mechanic feel, right? If you could, like, upgrade the vehicles somehow with creatures. No, we gotta... What am I doing? We gotta kill the Guide of Souls. All right, get rid of the Guide of Souls, and we'll just make spawns, I think. So Guide of Souls, gotta go. Make a couple dorks. Opponent gets to kill the Goose on Gog. And... All right, what do you got, Ocelot Bride? Cool. I wonder if any of the vehicles will supercharge Greasefang. It's hard for me to imagine a better vehicle reanimation target than Parhelion. You'd literally need a vehicle that was a one-shot kill. Not that that's impossible. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh. Do we actually have to... Yeah, I think we do this. If they're going to gain life, they're going to have to use their food. Down to 17. Alright, opponent's going to sack their food. They want to gain the life to trigger the pride. I mean, we have another Kozilek's Command, so we can answer it. Well, let's play the Brushland. Pass the... We need to find our Starfish. We need to find the Starfish. We're not getting much traction. Oh, if they crew, it's indestructible. That could be a sweet way to do mechanics. The mechanic, a young wolf for our opponent. And passing. Well, 1, 2. Oh boy, if they Coco, it's so rough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hell, scry draw. You know what? We're just going to do our thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We really need to find the Starfish. So, opponent, you get to keep your stuff. Kozilek's Command. Make a bunch of dorks. Look for the Starfish. No Starfish. Bottom, bottom, bottom. We need the Starfish. If we don't find the Starfish, none of this actually matters. Or if they have Coco or Cord, that's also scary. Ah, the Fecund Green Shell. Well, Breeding Pool untapped. Malevolent Rumble. 4. Our Starfish, please. Ay, 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 ay. Well, that's less good. Oh, the Starfish would have been so good here. Okay, so... Ouch. Ouch. Well, I guess we gotta go Fecund Green Shell. Make do with the tortoise, since we can't find the Starfish. I mean, Fecund Green Shell is also a card advantage engine. If we can't... Ooh, Path. Path is not... Oh, but we don't have green mana. All right. I'll tap you, Birds of Paradise. Yeah, we can't cast the Path at the moment. Oh, 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 there it is. There it is. There's the Starfish. Blygon. It's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one. Well, we will draw a new hand. Boy, I wish we had white mana. White mana would make this so much better. Let's play Delighted Halfling. After all this, we could still just get combo killed, which is kind of annoying. But that is the power of the Starfish. We have a new hand. Oh, they're just making... Okay, hold. If we survive this turn, we should be good. Opponent sacks to draw. No Yogg. No Yogg for 1 turn. Discard the Chrysalis. Discard the Let's go Crystallis. Get rid of both. Actually, let's go down to Rumble. Let's do that. Because we're going to play the Rest in Peace anyway. Ocelot Pride probably was a mistake. All right, Innkeeper, not a Yogg. As long as it's not a Yogg, we're kind of fine. And Young Wolf. Okay, so opponent has the full combo. If they have Court of Calling, they win. 2 Young Wolves, Innkeeper, untap land, food. They don't have it. They don't have it. Okay, opponent's going to make a bunch of tokens with Ocelot Pride. Also not great. Gain a bunch of life, sure, but we're not dead. And that's a Kozilek's command. Okay, how do we do this? I wasn't expecting us to live this turn. Crystallis is actually really good in the deck. It's just awkward right now that we're not really hitting our land drops. But it's 3 bodies that work with the Starfish, right? It's three bodies that work with Plygon, which is very, very good. Well, let's play the Bird's Paradise. Fecund Green Shell, not a land. Perpetually cost 1 less to cast. Do we even care about that? Let's play the Crystallis. This is going to trigger the green shell a bunch of times. Oh. We actually want that one in hand. We'd make a bunch of mana with Nykthos. Crystallis resolves. Wow, where are our lands? Play the Nykthos. Make some green manas. Green Shell Part 2? The lands are going to come eventually, right? They have to. All right, there's a land. Yes, put it into play. Fanatic. Well, play... 1, 2. Let's do this. 3, 4. So I think what we do, this is actually going to be pretty sweet. So we're going to kill a Young Wolf. Kozilek's command for 6. So exile Young Wolf, make our spawns back. And this is going to trigger both green shells an absurd number of times. Here we go. Yes, land. Thank you. Hopefully this will turn on. Wait, where are the... Oh my god, where's the lands? Okay. Land. Not a land. Land. We got to be getting close to 10, right? There it is. There's land up. There's all the lands. And a land, and a land, and a land, and also a land. And we will go to combat and hit you with a green shell and hit you with a Plagon and hit you with the halfling. Yeah, hit you with, we'll get in with everything. All right, get in and hit you. That was a turn. That was a pretty good turn. Hey, what's up, Sun Navier? How are you? Good to see you. Hey, how have you been, Lucid? About it. Man, so do I stop watching the stream to watch the podcast? I wouldn't today just because spoilers. Spoilers are coming. We have to discard 6. That's a lot. 1. So the Fanatics can come back from the graveyard anyway. 1, 2, 3, 4. Another Plagon we're going to mill out. 5. We have drawn too much of our deck here. All right, opponent. This is where we're at. Kill us if you can. We have a path up that can kill something. Either our opponent combos off this turn or we win, though. There's no... Like, look at our board. I don't think there's any coming back from this. About it. Yeah, the Eldrazi spawner, actually. They work with Plagon and with Green Shell, so they're actually absurd in this deck. Opponent, land. Or are they just going to try to... All right, let's... you know what? They can make their tokens. That's fine. We're going to wait. I'm afraid if we go to kill it and they are slow rolling a chord, that is a way we could lose. Malevolent Rumble. Well, all right. Let's put an end to our opponent's combo shenanigans. Play this Rest in Peace. Just to make sure. Wait, this is a 2-mana Ocelot Pride and it's still popping off. Hey, what's up, the Mega Magikarp? How are you? Good to see you, good to see you. And now we will Fragment Reality the Ocelot Pride. Opponent gets an Avis's Pilgrim, gains life. Sure. Malevolent Rumble? We kind of want our Emrakul. We have one Emrakul. Alright, take another Nykthos, I guess. Trigger. We gotta not mill out. Okay, Malevolent Rumble. No fear. We're fine. Oh my god, where's our Emrakul? Alright, take a Delighted Halfling. Mill. Emrakul. It's gotta come. There's only 5 cards in our deck, okay? Shifting Woodlands, 4 cards. There it is. Okay, so make a little mana. Play a Nick. This should do it. Nykthos number 2. Make a little more mana. And I believe this should be the end. Emrakul, the promised end. We would like to steal your next turn, opponent. And, okay, go to combat. Attack just a bit, a little off the top. This deck is so sweet. The deck is so sweet. About it. How many of you have actually played with Plygon in any format? Like, is this a hype card that I have just missed? Not really interested in the new set because of the racing theme, but the break from Perpetual Spoiler Season makes me more interested than I would be. Yeah, it does feel like it's been a minute since we've had spoilers. I mean, we can butt fight whenever we want to. But I kind of don't even want our opponent to die. I want to Emrakul them. Opponent gonna gain some life. Not giving up. Sure. About it. Down to 8. Well, opponent, we would like to have your turn. Well, we'll play the land for you. We'll tap it for you. And yeah, I guess we play this too, sure. Play the Attendant. And go to combat. Get in with the Pilgrim. Kill the Pilgrim. And I don't know how our opponent's getting out of this. Last time I caught your stream, we talked about a collection of budget decks, 5 or 10 under $30. Hey, what's up, Stone Rain? How are you? Good to see you. Good to see ya. Yeah, it's been a while. So I used to do articles for each set that had like a bunch of super cheap decks. That kind of fell away. I do think it'll come back. Like, there will be an article with some cheap decks at some point. It might be a little bit though, because it's kind of a big project and we just got other stuff going on. But it's on my list, so I think we will get more. Don't worry, Mr. Thallid. We will get more eventually. Well, let's run it back. I was gonna ask you something. Do you have any advice on how to get over the burnout of MTG Arena? I haven't played in over 2 months. I kind of miss it, but whenever I turn it on, I just get really tired of the endless grind for cards. Well, normally my answer to that is, well, take a break for a little while if you need to, but it sounds like you are already taking a break. So what's the next level to getting over burnout? I mean, maybe it's like Brawl or Momir or like formats like that. Maybe if you want to play Magic Arena, but you don't want to be thinking about the daily grind for cards, which is a real thing, maybe there's a way to enjoy Arena without having to worry so much about the endless grind. That'd be my idea. Maybe find a format where the grind is not as pressing, and go from there. See if that works. Well, Breeding Pool tapped. Hey, what's up, DPNY? How are you? When do spoilers happen? So there is a stream, the preview stream from Wansy in 15 minutes. So when that comes on, we're going to be watching it together. And then I think there's like an after part too. So starting in 15 minutes, like the next hour, I think should be spoiler filled. Finished. Hey, what deck list are you working on, Doug? Opponent's going to get him with the Innkeeper. Sure. Opponent's got a lot of bodies. That is a lot of bodies. They can't realistically combo through Rest in Peace, though, right? But then we lose our Fanatic. How close to dead are we? What if they just play Yogg? Do we die? You know what? Let's be greedy. We're gonna try to get back the Fanatic first. So we're gonna play Hushwing Verge. Get back the Fanatic. And hope that our opponent's not comboing this turn and that we have a good next turn. Alright, opponent. With all your Avacyn's Pilgrims. Do you think there'll be a wacky Racer Secret Lair? Yeah, what do you think the Secret Lair will be? Like, do you think they'll do... Will they really do, like, Fast and the Furious? What's the most iconic racing IP? Fast and the Furious, Speed Racer... Oh, Mario Kart. Oh, Mario Kart would be... I love Mario Kart. I do love Mario Kart. I could get behind a Mario Kart lair drop. If they're actually gonna do stuff like SpongeBob, I think Mario Kart would be better than that, wouldn't it? Tenacious D. Just a tribute. Ooh, Hot Wheels. Wait, who owns Hot Wheels? They don't. That's not a Hasbro show, is it? Mad Max is pretty good. I could see Mad Max. What would a Hot Wheels Secret Lair drop even be like? Are there like... Oh, it's Mattel? I imagine they probably won't get that then. I feel like Mattel and Hasbro are enemies. All right, we got to do something. Let's play the land. Yeah, I think we play the rip now. Let's play the Rest in Peace. Get rid of the graveyards. And actually, we can play the Crystallis. And let's leave up the Kozilek's Command. I feel like the Kozilek's Command's pretty good here. So pass the turn. Ooh, Knight Rider. Here's the deck I just finished building around the reprints from Innistrad Remastered. Ooh, that's a cool theme, Doug. Ah, Grim Grin. Yeah, Grim Grin. Ooh, $50 Grim Grin. That looks sweet. Good to see more budget decks out there. I feel like the multiverse can use more budget commander decks. Oh, Rat. Oh my god. Rat Race. I believe, and this is embarrassing to admit, I'm pretty sure that Rat Race is the movie that I have seen more times in theaters than any other movie. I don't know how my life ended up there. I really don't. I don't know how that's true, and it hurts to say that, but I'm pretty sure that Rat Race is the movie I've seen in the theater the most times. Oh. Oh my god. Oh man. It's not as bad as some. It's actually not that bad. The worst one, oh my god, I remember when this came out, my little brother wanted to see Master of Disguise. Because he loved, I don't even remember who's the guy in Master of Disguise, that very annoying Dana Carvey? I think it's Dana Carvey, very annoying comedian. and I looked at the reviews of it, and the reviews were hilariously bad, like worst movie of all time bad. And boy, he insisted that I take him to that movie, and I did it, and the reviews were not wrong. There were some slightly funny parts, I guess, but the turtle, yup. 1, 2, did we do anything? What is this? What is Eladrumi Corvette? Why did they get that of all things? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, oh, wait. This makes 4. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, so we are going to scry draw make spawns. for 8. And grow our Crystallis a little bit. Oh no. Are we actually doing Master Disguise quotes in the chat now? What have I done? What have I done? Oh, Rat Race or Master Disguise? You're going to a deserted island. You're going to a deserted island. You only get one. And you have to watch it every day for the rest of your life. There's no option to just not have a TV on the island. What are you picking? What are you picking? I'll pull up. Let's see. I imagine, yeah. They got the countdown on for 9 minutes. So 9 minutes from spoilers. But first, I think we're going to draw a few Magic the Gathering cards with the best Starfish ever. Okay, so new hand. I wonder if there's any world where this deck plays no max hand size stuff. My Kingdom for a Reliquary Tower. Let's play a Brush Land. And are we just passing? That feels so awkward. Let's play a Fanatic. Oh, our colors are weird, though. Oh, we have this. Yeah. Let's play a Fanatic. I just don't want to discard so much to hand size. Actually, you know what? This is better. Let's play a Fecund Green Shell. I think that's better. Let's play a Green Shell. Start drawing some cards. So you think energy is going to be in the set? Are we gonna get more energy cards in Aetherdrift? Oh, 1, 2. I guess we can just make green. Make some green. You know what? Let's just keep Fecund Green Shelling. Turtle number 2 to go with the Starfish. Fragment Reality and a land. And all right, that's probably good enough. Actually, well, 1, 2. Fanatic Aronis. Trigger. I mean, we gotta name Starfish, right? I don't even think we want to cast a Starfish, but it's just the correct name, and the team grows, and here comes the dorks. All right, opponent. It's so good. Bryce Feathertouch, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup here for you. Thank you. What if Ether Spark works with energy? The commander deck name is what made me suspicious of energy. Because the commander deck name, I don't remember exactly what it was, but it actually straight up has energy in it. And that made me think that there's gotta be energy in the set, although I'm hoping that's not true. I would prefer there not to be energy in the set because I don't think energy is a very healthy mechanic for standard. All right, discard a few cards, and I'm not sure how we lose from here, honestly. We got multiple removal spells. Gilded use Hong Kong. Sure, that's fine. Opponent gonna gain some life. I mean, that's the power of the Starfish. That is the power of the Starfish. Yeah, it is also not a healthy mechanic for Modern. Oh, did I miss the Hong Kong? And there's a GG's, and whoo. All right, so if you like Historic and you're looking for something different to play, I would recommend this deck. I love this deck. I like drawing cards. And apparently, let me see the player's name. So the way I got this deck is I was tweeting about building the Brawl deck, and someone was like, oh, the number 2 ranked player in Historic actually is playing a Plagon deck in Historic, and that's where I got the deck list. Let's see. Kepler's, Kplers 84, I believe, is the player's name. The deck's super cool, though, so I don't know if you're a Historic fan. I'd give it a try. It draws such a ridiculous amount of cards that it is super worth it. Energy isn't a healthy mechanic. It's on par with Infect. I could see that comparison. I think, yeah, all right, let's get ready for the stream. I think the issue with energy is it's so hard to deal with. If there were more ways to get rid of your opponent's energy, I feel like it would be much easier. Yeah, spoilers in 5 minutes. Noon Eastern time. Hey, thanks for the match, troll. Yeah, I felt like we got a little lucky. There were multiple turns where it was like, if you had the right card, we just die. So I think we got a little lucky. Is the stream look? I got a new PC. Did I tell you that? Okay, Jay. I don't know. It's pretty good, right? The problem is, so here's the problem. I switched to a new computer, but I lost the Ragavan pick. The gangster Ragavan. It's on my old computer, and I forgot to take it off. So gangster Ragavan is gone for the time being. Keplers, welcome to the Fishbowl with a gift sub from Dog of Myth. Thank you for your subscription, and thank you, Dog, for the gift sub. Big scoop cheer for both of you. Thank you. The official stream is twitch.tv/magic if you want to watch the Watsy version. We will watch the entire thing here, and we get to meme on Blake a little bit. That's my favorite part of spoiler day. How will Blake be today? Is Blake looking happy? Is he looking miserable? Did he get enough sleep last night? We need more of this Psy technology guy too. He's kind of faded away. He was the star of that one stream. but then he's gone. We talked about it on Twitter the other day. All will be one eternity vessel. Did you ever put any thought into that? Not seriously. I think the idea is really neat. I'm a little nervous about actually being able to pull it off in modern. Like, modern's a tough place for things like that. So I think the best bet is you're going to need some sort of fast mana plan or reanimation plan, whether it be like reanimating Eternity Vessel. So to make it go right, you need to be at a high life total, preferably around 20, resolve a 5-drop, a 6-drop, and have a land drop. So you kind of need to get to 7. So I'm imagining it's going to have to be some sort of ramp deck, most likely, or maybe a reanimation deck. I don't know. I haven't got beyond that part, though. It's definitely against the odds. I've really struggled with against the odds in modern lately. The format's just gotten so powerful that it's very difficult to make some of the jank. If you look at old school against the odds jank, there are some like seriously janky decks that we played. And when I look at those decks today, I'm like, boy, if we tried playing that deck in modern. If we played that deck in modern now, there is no way. Like, go back to the earliest against the odds decks, and it's almost kind of funny just to see how quaint they were, and just like how different the format looks. Like, I guess this one doesn't look that bad because you just got a million mana dorks, and a million mana dorks you can still do stuff with. Boy, we used to love Birds of Paradise, apparently, every deck. Elvish, Mystic, Birds of Paradise, Noble Hierarch. Oh my god, we were trying to mirror weave Biovisionary. Illusions. You know what needs more support is illusions. We need more illusions. We haven't had an illusions card in a while. Oh man, Descendants Path, Congregation at Dawn. Okay. I feel like, I feel like we played an Eternity Vessel deck. How long do we have? 1 minute and 5 seconds. Okay, can I find this deck in 1 minute and 5 seconds? Let's see. I feel like we played an Eternity Vessel deck. I can't remember what it looked like, though, forever ago. Eternity Vessel. Modern. Eternal Mining. 2017. Eternity Vessel. Oh, Aggressive Mining. Blood Moon, of course. Wait, what were we trying to do? I don't even understand what I was doing with this deck. So, Eternity Vessel, lands reset your life total, essentially. Aggressive Mining. You can't play lands. Sack a land, draw 2 cards. Activate this only once a turn. That was an early use of the once a turn restriction. We didn't see that often. Wait, is it 13 seconds? All right, here we go. Spoiler time! Spoiler time! Are you ready for Aetherdrift? It's time, chat. The time has come. We'll figure out Eternity Vessel later. Right now,
Hey, you!
start your engines.
Has life been passing you by?
How is... Are we good audio?
Add a little
Good enough audio-wise?
explosiveness to your day?
We already watched this.
Or
We already watched
this
this one. I feel like this trailer is kind of medium to bad. I feel like maybe it's just the aesthetic. Like maybe they were trying to make it look this way, but it feels kind of jank compared to some of their other like
Then join the
highest tier
Grand Prix,
trailers.
And this could be you. Not him.
Oh, I don't know the voice actor. Maybe
Take a chance for
I think
fantastic
Goggles.
glory and
Goggles
incredible
might be
riches.
the cowboy hats
Like
in
the
this set.
Aetherdrift.
It might be
This
racing
year's legendary
goggles.
prize. It's worth the risk. We promise. So put down that
Yeah, the
remote
trailer.
and push your pedal past its limit.
Maybe, you know what could happen? Maybe
We
there's a
want you
huge
to
car
be part
accident
of the Gearboard
in the set,
Grand
and
Prix.
Luke gets run
because
over
we're
or
running out of
something.
racers.
We can hope.
But hey, it'll be
Maybe
a ton of fun.
the end of Luke
It's a
gets
real
run
death
over by
race if you
Chandra or
die.
something. It is a death race. How do you have a death race and not have anyone die? Like Luke, please.
We are not responsible for vehicle sabotage,
Just a little
incineration,
death.
or decapitation from giant anthropomorphic sharks. Drive at your own risk. This message has been paid for by the New Culture Collective.
Oh, wait, was that Marrow? I wasn't even paying attention, but you might be right.
Welcome to the Gearboard
All right, here we
Grand
go.
Prix.
The Gurper
The
Grand
most
Prix.
intense race in the multiverse is too fast and too dangerous for just one plane.
I thought they were gonna say Too Fast,
Instead,
Too
Its
Furious.
tracks wind across three, starting with Avishkar at
Oh,
night.
start your
Newly
engines.
connected to other
Oh god.
planes by the Omen
If you have
Path,
no speed,
Avishkar
it starts at
is a
1 and
beehive of
increases once on
activity.
each of your turns when an opponent
Colorful
loses
and
life. Max
vibrant
speed is
even in the
4.
middle of the night. Its
Okay.
streets bustle and glow with the
Ooh,
activity
wait.
of people
Enters
from
tab,
all
choose a
over.
color,
The
cycling
racetrack
3.
here is
That's not a
lined with
bad common.
spectators spread throughout the
Night
park-like
Market's kind of a
atmosphere.
fine. What about that?
This is a
Okay.
celebration, and the whole
Oh no,
plane
did
is
they
invited.
recreate day and
From
night?
there,
Is that the day and
course
night
leads to
mechanic?
Amonkhet, a plane full
Start
of
your
dangerous
engines.
ruins and other obstacles. But there
So
are
you
signs
play
of
this.
rejuvenation as well,
It increases as your
Amonkhet
opponent loses
races
life
towards
once a
new golden
turn.
age.
Once it gets
And
to 4,
finally,
this is a
it
land that taps to give a
presumes
creature
through
haste.
Primordial Muruganda,
Wow!
rich in raw magic and
Huh!
boasting the remains
Huh!
of an ancient and powerful civilization.
Oh my
Muruganda
god, that's a
holds
card.
danger
Oh,
and
good
promise
lord.
in equal measure.
Muruganda Raceway.
And the race ends where
Wow.
it began.
So it takes a little.
Back on the
Oh
exciting
man. So it
streets
takes
of
4 turns
Avishkar,
to get
where the
going.
people are thrilled
But it
to
turns into
celebrate
ancient
their new
too?
champion. But you certainly
That's-
can't walk across all
at
those
least in
planes.
Commander,
You're
that's
going
gotta
to
be
need a vehicle
insane.
Or a mount.
I guess the problem is if you
Vehicles
ride on
are
like turn
familiar
3 or turn
mechanic,
4,
And this racing-themed set contains a huge variety of them.
vehicle
Whatever
token.
kind of player you are, there's a vehicle for you.
Okay.
You've already seen our host.
Oh.
Host Vin Wixit.
Start
The
your
only thing in
engines.
the
No max hand
multiverse as
size.
fast
Max
as
speed
this
if you draw a
race
card, draw
is his
2 instead,
motormouth.
0-4.
He's also here
God
to introduce
dang it.
the two
Ven-
most
Ven-
important mechanics of the set.
Ven-
Start your
Venwix.
engines
Ven-
and max speed.
Venwood.
Start your engines
Extra.
represents creatures and
Verbo-
vehicles beginning
How
the
am I
race,
supposed to
gaining
say
more
that?
and more speed and achieving new abilities. The final and most powerful abilities are then unlocked once you
Worth
reach
noting,
max speed.
that applies to
When a
the card you draw
tells
for
you
your
to start your
turn.
engines, grab the helper card to track your speed. There will
Oh,
be one
okay.
included in every pre-release box. Once on each of your turns, when an opponent loses life, you gain 1 level of speed.
Biggles.
until
It's a
ultimately
Biggles.
reaching max speed.
A monkey of
Victory in
Biggles.
the Grand Prix is its own
Okay,
reward.
so it's
The
not as
fame,
bad
the
as day and
glory,
night.
The rush.
So
But
you
for
gotta
those that
track
want an
it,
actual
but it caps
reward,
at 4.
there's
So once you get to
also a
4,
masterwork
you're
artifact
good
to
and
be
you can stop
won.
thinking about it.
As you can see, it has a shiny gold
Oh, where's the
filigree
Aetherdrift?
casing, but
Or
it's
the
what's
Aether Spark, I
inside
mean.
that really counts. The Aether Spark.
Oh,
That's
okay.
right. A
As long
planeswalker
as it's
spark
attached to a
enveloped
creature,
in a
it can't
field
be
of
attacked,
super
and as whenever a
cool
creature
liquid
deals
aether.
combat damage
If you
during
win
your
this
turn,
prize,
put that many loyalty
say
counters on it.
goodbye
Plus
to
1,
frantically
attach it to
searching
one
for an
creature,
Omen path to
put a
take
plus
you
1
to
plus 1
another
counter on it,
plane.
-5, draw 2
Instead,
cards,
get in the
-10
driver's
at
seat
10
and
mana.
travel in
Huh?
luxurious
Wait, that card
exclusivity
is
with your
that
very
card
own
is
Aether Spark.
weird.
Go anywhere you want.
Wait, is that
anytime you
good?
want, at top speed. The interplanar track is full
The
of
Aether
hazards,
Spark.
which is why no serious racer participates.
I need.
alone.
We couldn't see it for long enough.
Instead,
I'm still
there are
not sure if that
10
card's
racing
busted or
teams.
not.
Each have their own rides and a shot at winning the no-holds-barred race.
The
and bringing
Boom
home
Mobile.
The Aether Spark. But it's anyone's guess. who
Oh,
will
Gonti's
triumph
back.
In the end. First up, we have the Guidelight Voyagers, machines speeding their way from
Power
the
equal number of
unknown plane
artifacts you
of the
control.
multiverse
Start your
or beyond.
engines. Max speed.
This
Whenever you
team
cast
is
an artifact
capable
spell.
of remarkable
It's a
coordination.
wow, that
No
card's
surprise, as
wow.
they are each animated
It
by
turns into
central brain
a
called
super
the mental
Panharmonicon.
core.
It's a
The
Panharmonicon.
Guidelight Voyagers
And it's a
can fuse with
2-drop.
their racing vehicles to become greater than the sum of their parts. These
That card
inexorable
seems
machines have a
really
good chance
good.
of coming out on top. As exciting as the
Search your
race
library for an
itself
artifact card,
is,
reveal it,
there's
put it on the
also
battlefield
plenty
with
of
mana abilities
flair
2 or
to soup
less.
up your deck. This set contains 40 borderless revved up cards, each
Okay.
featuring a vehicle
Okay,
and
the
racer
extended
forced
border looks
together
good.
with a high energy graffiti laden background. The speed demons are
I imagine
fearsome
it's actually
competitors in the
narrated.
Grand
I would
Prix.
be surprised if
Led
Wizards
by
would
Winter-Cursed
would use an
Rider,
AI
a
voice
wandering
over
revenant and wraith of their
Ward Pay 2
former
life.
self.
Artifacts you
Windsor
have
commands a team
control have
fresh
Ward
from
Pay 2 life.
Duskmourn's haunted halls.
Exhaust.
Ghosts,
Tap X and X
possessed
artifact cards from your
survivors,
graveyard, each other
haunted
non-artifact
dolls,
creature.
ghouls, and hungry
Eh.
specters.
I mean, I
You
guess
name
it's a
them,
2-drop,
the
so it's
speed
actually
demons
kind of
got 'em.
good.
All doomed to race
The
together
Wrath mode
forever
is
on the
oh,
open road,
last ride gets
seeking
negative X, negative X, where X is your
somewhere
life.
over
There
the
it is. It
horizon.
was
Or
okay.
if
That
they
was
can't
one of the
find
spoilers.
maybe an
It
Aether Spark will do
is
the trick.
a vehicle
While the
Death
Aether
Shadow.
Spark is the
But you
grand
can
prize,
also, it's also a
certainly not the
greed,
only prize you can
and it's
find
only
within
one man.
this set.
Man, that card's
First
actually kind of
place
sweet.
box toppers are inspired by going for the gold.
We're pretty
They
close
come in packs
to
of two
to
atop every
Panharmonicon
box
Tribal
and feature
already.
cards
We're
with
getting
a
there. We're
new
getting
gold
there.
substrate treatment.
Yeah, there's gonna be a
In
lot of
order to claim
artifacts,
that
which I
prize,
guess is
you're going
good
to
because
need
we're in a
a
pretty
new boost.
enchantment-y meta now.
Exhaust is a new mechanic
Okay,
which
what does
represents
exhaust
a
do?
creature or artifact kicking into high gear. It's a one-shot effect that can be activated only once each game.
Oh, I don't know about
Another
that.
creature equipped with those strengths
Oh!
is Loot the Pathfinder. Originally found in the vault on Thunder Junction before being dragged through Duskmourn by Jace,
No!
Loot was captured by Winter and the
Wizards,
Speed
why?
Demons. He might prove
Why?
pretty useful in this race, as he has the ability to divine the precise location of any omen path. and
Loot
its
is so good
destination.
stuffy.
Loot may yet play a decisive role in leading someone to the finish line. The End
That Loot
Riders
had a
are
lot of text
nomadic
on it.
apocalypse punk warriors
Far
from the
Fortune's End
dying
Boss.
plane of
4 mana 4/5.
Gaston.
Start your engines.
Far Fortune End Boss is a
Whenever you
rogue-bitten
attack,
speed
deals 1
seeker
damage to
who
each
has driven
opponent.
the
Max
last of
speed.
her
If a source you
loyal
control will
crew
deal
away
damage to
from
an
their
opponent,
doomed
permanently
home
controls
at a
that
breakneck
damage
pace.
plus 1
Their
instead.
fearsome vehicles and heavy armor protect
Oh,
them
so
as they
each-
cannonball across the multiverse.
So each of the
seeking
main
gas,
characters has
water,
like
or
a signature
glory,
vehicle with it.
preferably all
The
three.
vehicles look cool. They look pretty Mad
The
Maxy.
Goblin Rocketeers are a team of the most clever and daring
And X
goblins
mana,
this
where X
side
is
of
its
the
power.
multiverse.
Spend it to only activate
Redshift
abilities.
Rocketeer Chief is actually
Put any
the
number of
first
permanent
goblin
cards
to
from
strap
your
a rocket
hands.
to his back
So,
and fire the ignition.
What do you think of
He has
exhaust?
survived more crashes than he
I
can
worry
count,
that exhaust-
earning the
how do you-
loyalty of his crew.
It
The
doesn't seem
Rocketeers'
like
need for
it's
speed
tracked,
led
right?
them to develop
You can only use it
rocket-powered vehicles
once. This one has a
capable of
counter. That
incredible
makes it
velocity.
easy. If it's got the counter,
But
then
while
you
they
assume you
initially
exhausted
used
it.
these speed
The exhaust
machines
with
to
no
explore
counter
the
is kind of
omen
weird
paths,
though, because how do
lately,
you
they've been far more
how do you
interested
know?
in testing their speed
when it enters
against
at
other
4 mana of any
vehicles
one
on
color,
the
spend this
open road.
only to act. We're gonna have to look
Alacrian Quick
into
Beasts are a
abilities.
proud
It
team
seems
of
like that's
beast
a
riders from
sub theme.
small, hitherto unknown plane. Leading the team are the odd couple of Caradora and her mount Loggerin. Loggerin,
Caradora
soul
and
of Alacria,
Loggerin.
is ancient and powerful. But
Search your
after
library for a
true
mount or
accident,
vehicle. Put it in your
has
hand. When
taken
one of our
on
counters we put on a
newcomer
vehicle, you control that
Caradora
many
as their
plus
rider.
1.
The quick beasts
I mean,
are
I guess
fed
it's a
on
tutor.
steady diet
Only a
of
4/2
ether,
though.
which makes them fast and resilient enough to compete.
It's
with
kind of a
any
hardened
machine.
scales.
Saturn
Hardened
is
scales on a
returning
body.
mechanic
Hardened scales
first
commander.
Introduced in Outlaws of Thunder Junction.
1 mana 1/1.
Mounts, like
When it
Loggerins,
attacks by
are
saddle, put a
creatures
plus
that
1
get
plus
a
1 counter on
bonus when
each
ridden
of 2
into
mounts or
battle.
vehicles.
This set also contains 15 creature cards
Yes.
with the borderless
Look,
Rude Rider
look at that
treatment.
ox.
Each features amped up racers at their gnarliest. With
It's cool to
custom
see
fonts
Saddle
and
coming
mana
back.
symbols.
That might synergize with
The
some Outlaws of
champions
Thunder Junction
Amonkhet
stuff.
Are composed of the living and
Sacrifice
the dead
another
of
creature.
Amonkhet,
Surveil and activate only
working
once each
together
turn.
to
Max
win
speed,
the
we're not
Aether
taking
Spark.
creature. So it seems
Representing the
like
dead,
getting to max
Zahor
speed
is
is
an
going to be
undead
very,
Leonin from his
very
plane's
important.
ancient
We've seen a
past.
lot of max
He races
speed.
at top speed to return some of
So
the
it's cards that
glory
are, like,
Amonkhet
kind of
lost during
okay.
his bygone
They're
lifetime.
kind of okay to start,
Basri
but if you get to max
represents the
speed, they
living
become
and has
insane.
formed a
Hey,
close
Basri's
bond
back.
with Zahor
1 mana
after
2/1.
they fought
Tap
together
it,
against a party
exert
of
it
tomb demons in the sand
to make a
of
lifelink
Amonkhet.
token. Cycle
He
for 3
seeks
when
to
you
bring
cycle
his
it. Cats
plane
you control
towards a
gain hexproof.
glorious
Oh
new
my
future
god.
by winning the
Oh.
Grand Prix.
Wow.
These
In a cat
champions
deck, that's
drive
actually like kind of
pace the
insane.
race forward on
Cat,
the
we just
mighty
played
chariots
Cats.
pulled
We just
by
played Cats
powerful
uncounterable
undead
too because
creatures.
it's cycling. That's actually a
The
great cat
Speed Brood
card.
are a strange yet alluring team
When it
of
enters, create a
insects and
1/1 green insect
arthropods
token for each
who
artifact or
grow
creature
their
card in your
vehicles
graveyard.
themselves.
When an
Action
insect
is
you
a
control
wizened
dies, put a
and
counter on it.
united
Each opponent
leader
loses 1
who
life.
is
We've kind of
participating in her final
seen,
race
yeah,
before
Basri might
returning home
be
to
pretty
fulfill her
good.
destiny,
I like the
becoming
art
vehicle
style on the
herself.
showcase cards. The showcase
Elegant
cards look
and
super cool.
alien,
Mythic
the Speed
vehicle.
Brood refuse to reveal their plane of
Each
origin
other vehicle and
or
creature
their
you control
reason
enters
for
with additional
participating
counter on
in
it
the
if its
Grand
mana fee is
Prix,
4 or less.
beyond their
Otherwise,
desire
enters
to
with
become
3 additional
speed
counters
itself.
on it.
The
5/5
Rangers
trample.
are master inventors from
The vehicles
Aetherdrift,
seem kinda
who have turned
strong.
all their ingenuity towards the problem of winning the Aether Spark.
Put a +1/+1
They
counter
are
on
led by
it.
the
Then you have its
mysterious
base power and
mass
toughness
racer
of
Spitfire,
each other
whose
creature
true
you
name
control
is
become
Sita
equal to
Varma.
its. So it
She
seems like
chooses
there's
to
a
keep her
cycle of
identity
2
hidden
drops.
for the duration of the race.
We've seen a
The
cycle of
Aether
2 color
Rangers
2
are the
drops.
paragons of the new Avishkar, wedding reverence
They're
for
probably
the
gonna be
natural
good.
world
Like, 2
with the
drops,
masterwork
that's not a lot of
engineering
mana.
necessary to harness its most powerful energy.
Crimson, welcome to the
Aether.
fishbowl. Big super jibber, thank you, thank
Fueled
you.
by Aether, they are able to build incredible momentum in their
When you
quest
exhaust,
for
make a
victory.
thopter.
The keel haulers are a rowdy
Shark
crew
bite-
of sea
shark
folk
pirate.
corsairs hailing from an oceanic plain.
Ward of
This
2 and
team
pay 2
blindly
life, so that's pretty good
follows Captain
protection.
Howler, a hulking Kordatin inked with the tattoos of every port he is visiting.
Oh, wait.
Under
Could
his
this
iron
make
fin, these
could this make
capricious
one with nothing good?
scalawags adhere to the rules of the
Is there a
race
way we can just
only as
discard
long
our
as
hand
they
and one
must.
shot someone?
Once the
Whenever you
crowd
discard
drop
one or
behind them
one
and
or
the
more
Grand Prix
cards,
heads into
okay, so it
wild
doesn't actually
territory,
work. You only
the
get +2
keel
+0.
haulers start the violence. They're willing to exploit any advantage to
Whenever
ensure
you
they win,
attack, draw a
from
card, then
broadsides
discard
to
a card.
boarding.
I mean, the thing I
The
like about
legendary Cloudspire Racing
there's the new
team
Chandra.
are last year's
4 mana
Grand
4
Prix
loyalty.
winners
Beginning of
and the
combat in your
odds-on
turn.
favorite to win
Turn a
again.
vehicle into a creature.
Leading the team is
Second
newcomer
artifact, discard a
Chandra
card.
herself.
Draw a card.
This Avishkar native
Make a
joins
vehicle
the crew
token.
in an attempt to
You
win
get an
the
emblem
Aether
whenever an
Spark
artifact
for
you control
Nissa,
enters. This
hoping
emblem
to
deals
give her
3
a
damage to
chance
any
to walk
target.
the multiverse once more. Co-leading
Chandra
the team
seems
is
kinda
last
narrow.
year's Captain
Chandra seems kinda
Coladin,
narrow.
a native of Kylo
Like, in
and
a
someone
vehicle
who
deck,
has
it could be
dedicated
good.
his life to the
But you're
pursuit
gonna
of
have to be a
speed and
vehicle
racing
deck.
glory. Coladin uses magic to bring his machine to life.
Does this feel like House of
investing it with his
Dragons
will.
to you at all?
Cloudspire
4
is a
starting loyalty,
high-speed,
4 mana 4
low-drag
loyalty.
team big on professionalism and
So the thing I
pedigree.
like about the
Their
vehicles
are built to
is they're
awe and
doing
thrill,
things
floating across energy
when they're not
projections,
creatures and they're
leaving
not
little
crude.
doubt
They have
about their
statics, they have
quality.
ETBs. I think
This
that's going to
set
make them a lot
also
better.
features 2 commander decks, each
Yep,
of which
commander
is
time.
themed around a plane. The themes are enhanced by plane.
No energy. We haven't seen anything about
reprints.
energy. Maybe there's no
The
energy.
Eternal Might is a white, blue, and black commander deck themed around Amonkhet. The dead have risen and are no longer servants
5
of
mana
the
4
living.
for Vigilance
They are
Menace.
now
Whenever you
leaders
attack, draw, and
and
discard. Whenever you draw a
participants
card,
in
zombies you
Amonkhet's
control get +1/+1 until end of turn.
all under
Alright.
the powerful
I mean,
command
that's
of
a
Kemet.
neat, like, embalmed
With a
zombie
steady stream
commander.
of card drawing and discarding that generates
Whenever you
zombies
discard
and
a
buffs
creature
them up.
card, you can
The
pay
Eternal
3. If you
Might
do
deck
create a
uses
tap
a
token as a
growing army
copy.
of the
Oh,
undead
that's like
to overrun the
Eternalize.
battlefield.
Alright, that's a cool synergy.
The Living Energy Commander deck is a
Living,
green,
see, this
blue,
is the
and
deck that
red
made me
deck
think
based on
energy
Avishkar.
had to be in the
Focused
set, but
on
we haven't
wielding
seen
energy.
anything about it in the main
Led by
set.
Saheeli, Avishkar's
I mean, that's
radiant
definitely
creator.
energy.
You'll stockpile artifacts
When you cast an
and
artifact or
energy
artificer,
counters
get
to
energy.
fuel your
Beginning your combat,
big
pay 3 energy, create a
Generate
token that's
copies
got to be a
of your
target permanent you
cards
control
as
except
formidable
it's a 5/5
artifact
artifact
creatures, then
creature
watch as
in
your
addition to its
foes
other
short
types.
circuit.
Hat
Serving
has
as
haste second on
backup
your end
is
step.
Pia Nalar, Chandra's
Maybe
mother
only
and
Pia has
competitor
goggles.
in
We haven't
this
seen that
race.
many
As the
goggles.
founder of the Aether Rangers, Pia is a
Wizards
powerful
really
wielder
likes
of
energy
both
in Commander,
magic
don't
and
they?
technology. The Grand Prix is
So all
starting
these cards will
soon,
be timeless
so pick
legal
your
outside
vehicle,
of
pick
the
your
Commander
team,
Precon
and
cards
get
will
to the
not,
track.
but
You can play
those
early
commanders
at your
seem
local
strong.
game store
The
for
Esper
free
zombie
release
commander, I
starting
think
the
people are
weekend
gonna
of February
people are gonna
7th,
like. People
and
love
on Arena
zombies.
February 11th. Otherwise, we'll see you on February 14th when
Okay.
Aetherdrift will be available
I mean-
everywhere. Keep an eye out for the special guest,
Oh!
courtesy of the crew over at Secret
Lord of
Lair.
the
And
Undead.
if
Oh,
you'd like
special
to learn
guest.
who
So
will
not
win
not
the race
standard
and
legal.
Take home the Aether Spark. Story episodes are currently being written and published online.
Lord of the Undead would be
Buckle
cool
up
to have
for a
back in
death race
standard.
across the multiverse, full of high-octane action and
I gotta look. We gotta read the
adrenaline-fueled
Ether
gameplay.
Spark again. I
Ignite
believe
your
there's
engines.
a second part to this, so I think we're getting more spoilers because they're doing like the post game. All right, let's look at these cards while we wait for the second part to start. I'm very curious. Okay, Aetherdrift. We got to soak in the Aetherdrift, or the Aether Spark. I keep saying Aetherdrift. The Aether Spark, 4 mana, legendary equipment planeswalker, 4 loyalty. As long as it's attached to a creature,
Hello and welcome.
it can't be attacked and has whenever equipped creature deals combat damage during your turn, put that many loyalty counters. Is that not insane?
We're going to slow things down and take a deep dive.
So if you put this
into
on a
the
creature,
set
it
and
cannot
the
be
world and the
attacked.
characters
So its
and all the
abilities are not
things.
incredibly strong.
Aetherdrift, and to do that,
But it's
I
going to
have
be
three
really hard to deal with.
fantastic
And it's going to
guests
get loyalty
today.
very fast if you can
Let's go
start
around,
attacking
start
with
by
it.
introducing yourself and what
Plus one to
you,
put it on a
did for
creature
Aetherdrift.
and put a counter on it.
hello, I'm
Negative
Johnny
5, draw
Skolnick.
2.
I was
Negative
the
10,
second
make
design
10
lead,
mana
so I
penny.
led the final
Its
portion
abilities
of
are not that
creating the
good,
set,
though.
working with a wide variety
I don't know if that card's busted or not.
together.
This card might be busted.
Mark, who are you?
I'm Mark
Or it might be
Rosewater. I was the
unplayable.
vision design lead. I did the early part of the design and handed it off to you.
Yeah, the Ether Spark not being able to be
Go.
attacked is super strong.
Hi everyone, I'm Miguel Lopez. I was
How do we get the
developer
cards up
lead
so
on the
fast?
set.
That is thanks to
I
Niatuk.
got the
Niatuk's our
document
spoiler,
Mark and then working with
our
Johnny
spoiler
and,
guy.
and a few art directors
Oh, they got
to
Mark.
bring the
Okay.
set to life.
Yeah. So we are going to preview a bunch of new cards. We're going to dive a little bit deeper on the mechanics and the design of the set.
All
and
right,
how
let's see
all
some
of
more
this
new
fits
cards.
together.
There will be, of
And
course,
we're
a
gonna do so
whole
within
spoiler
an hour or
video
so.
going over all this on the
Questions
YouTube once
and
we're
answer
once we're
them,
done.
What you want to know about the set. But let's kick things off with, this is a racing set. They're racing for a prize. We gotta kick things off with some bling, with one of the prizes you can get in this set, a special guest. So we're
Ooh,
gonna talk
special
more about
guest.
special guest next
Oh,
week. But,
Chromox.
here is one of the special guests.
Okay.
Chrome Mox coming
Why
in
are there
that
two
borderless
colors?
and that first place foiling on the right.
I mean, Chromox
Chromox
is still like a
gonna be
$100
one of the
card.
guests in this set. Now, that foiling, we're going to be showing off.
Not sure why there's two colors. This must be the rare version. We really need another Mox, though. Yeah, we really need Mox. Mox Opal would have been the best. Yeah, the one on the left does look nice.
A short video here that's going to show off some of the lands and kind of show what this looks like
Oh,
in real life.
Much shinier.
Much shinier.
that video looks not very good, but I think they
Less-
look
less
cool.
matte yellow. Yeah.
Are those
these
yellow?
first-place
They're just
foil
all
cards,
yellow?
Are gorgeous. You're going to be getting these in box toppers.
Wait.
So the play boosters and collector booster boxes are going to be coming with a box topper pack that has a land in it, as well as a rare or mythic in that treatment as well. So as we go through this, as you see those first
Box
place
topper
foils
basic
pop up,
land's a
that's
little
where you're
a
gonna be
little
getting
shady, but
those.
they look
So
cool.
Chromox, very exciting.
I don't know how exciting people
but
like.
this
Do
whole
people
set
are people gonna
is
run out and
exciting.
buy a
And
box
it
because they're like,
didn't
ooh, I
feel
get a
that way,
basic.
right? That was kind of the design challenge.
Yeah, so
But they do look
basically
cool.
what happened was the idea of a death
Special
race
guests are
we actually had in our
timeless legal,
pocket
yes.
For, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years. But it wasn't until we were, sometimes in design, like you have different ideas come together.
So why
When
gold?
we had
Is it
parts of the
like
machine, we
like a
sort of
gold
changed
medal,
the
like first
cosmology of
place? Is that why they're doing it?
multiverse. We created Omen Path.
They look
So
super
we said to ourselves,
cool.
what can we do that we can't do
If they're-
before? Like, one of the
If they're
reasons to make
only
change
if they're
is allow us
only
to make sets
available
we
as
couldn't
box
make.
toppers, they probably will be
And
very
so
expensive.
We made a long list of like, well, what could you do that you couldn't do before? So one of the things I called a travel log set. Well, instead of being on one
P-lands.
world, we could travel between
I
worlds.
mean,
There could be some
the
continuity.
secret lair
And
land
when
sold
we came up
out.
with that
The
idea, we
one
liked
that
a
we
lot
talked
the
about
idea
last
that, like, we
stream
could- rather than
sold
have
out
one world, you could
instantly.
peek in a bunch of different worlds, but we said, why? Like, we had to have a reason to do it. So we went back to our list of other things we were looking at, and we said, oh,
Is this loot?
how about
Let's
the
see this
death race?
loot.
What if it was a race between worlds? Like, it made a lot of
Loot
sense
the
that
Pathfinder.
race, it could be
5
one
mana,
world, but isn't it more
Teamer,
exciting
Beast
if they're
Noble.
racing between
Double
worlds?
strike,
It
vigilance,
ups the-
haste.
It ups the excitement.
So it's kind of
And
a
so really, like,
4/4.
Death race and travel sort of came together,
Exhaust.
and like
Make 3
each
mana of
them
any
got
one
the other
color.
one to go, oh, together. this is the package we
Exhaust.
wanted.
Draw 3
And then,
cards.
Miguel, when that
Exhaust.
concept
3 damage to
came
any
to work
target.
building, or when you started working
That's a
on
pretty
that,
good mid-range
how did
card, right?
you
So if you
then
wait
end
till
up on
5
these three
mana,
planes with this
questing
concept?
loot is not far
Great.
off. If you wait till 5
sure.
mana,
So when a
or
concept
6
comes
mana,
down and hits world building's
you can
desk
play and
or
activate it right
minus,
away.
I-
So it's like 6
my big
mana,
goal is always
2
trying to
4
make
double
worlds,
strike vigilance
like,
haste, draw 3,
plane
or
setting
3
into
damage,
consistent
or
way,
get
like,
back some of
follows
your
the
mana.
logic that-
This
that
loot might actually be
exists,
good.
in the context
Combos
in
with
which it's
Deadeye, yeah, it
presented.
does.
So,
But what doesn't combo
for
with
our
Deadeye?
three
But still,
planes,
that might actually be a good
we were thinking
loot.
that we wanted to show off a broad
I feel
swath
like
of
these
environments, right?
lands. How
We
good do you
wanted
think
an
these
urban
lands
environment. We
are?
wanted something that hit
Like
the,
Amonkhet Raceway,
sort of hit the death race.
a
like
land
Marcus
that just
Death
taps to give a
Races,
creature haste.
and then
That's a
the wild
powerful
card
effect. It even enters
for a third.
untapped.
So,
I'm not sure how
that
good the
would
max
be
speed
perfect setting
is.
for it's a vibrant cityscape. We haven't been there in a long time.
So,
It
the way
was
that-
before my time as a player,
that is
but,
a
like,
that is
as
a good
world builder,
question.
it was,
How does exhaust
really
work if
exciting
the creature
plane,
leaves the battlefield?
to get to return
It's a
to.
new
It's
version of
super
itself.
rich
So
in
if you can
history
blink
and-
it
and
or bounce it
revolutionary
or
potential.
it dies and you reanimate it,
And
then you can
Mark
activate it
mentioned-
again.
Death race was on Avishkar the whole time. Like that was always an Avish card.
Yeah.
So the idea of the
Yeah, I
Zirkel
feel like
race and
these
Avish
lands
card,
might
like,
be
that was joined
sneaky.
together.
Might be
So
sneaky
when we went
powerful.
to say, what should we do? The answer wasn't even, what are the three
Their
worlds? It's
effects
like,
are all
well, clearly
really
it's Avish
good.
card,
Yep.
and then we need to pick two
Yeah.
other
I
worlds.
just don't know. I'm trying to
How
envision.
do we
So if
do
you
that?
have them
And-
on
and-
turn 1, they're insane, right? Because
Two
they're
other
going to turn on
worlds,
by turn 4, most likely,
Well,
turn
Amonkhet certainly
5.
hit like at the outset when it was.
But
it
if
was
you
a
draw
bit
them
more
late
Death
game,
Race
I guess they still
sort of
come into play
dominating
untapped.
combat sport at the end. Amonkhet really hit that Death Race note, right?
It
This
is
a,
budget ancient too. The
twice
haste one might
over
actually be the
post-apocalyptic
best.
covered in ruins. And
I just
deserts.
don't know how hard it's going to be to hit
Obviously,
max
as we
speed.
dug into world building and art dev for it and worked with consultants, we wanted to sort of bring a bit. more life
Start
into
your
it,
wait.
make it a
What's start
place
your
that was less
engines?
a ruin
Oh,
and more a place of
The max
potential
speed
as well.
mechanic.
Muruganda.
If you have no speed,
Muruganda
you
is
start at
kind of
1 and
of those things where,
increases
like,
once on
sometimes
each of
the
your
world building
turns.
team,
When an
you
opponent
have
loses
just
life,
to shoot a
I mean, I
shot
guess
and
it's
see if
slightly
it
easier in
happens,
Commander.
and Muruganda just happened.
Because you can
It's a
choose
sort of
if someone
lot
has a
of fun
blocker, you can
moments
attack the
of,
other person. So it might speed it up slightly,
running into
but
this place that was like kind of a blank slate.
and
for
I guess
timelines,
Commander games go longer, so maybe that's
really
part of
like-
it too.
I don't know. It was a
Where's our
really fun
spoilers,
visual
Blake?
and
Where's our
little
spoilers?
sandbox for me. I'm sure
These are not
it's not
spoilers.
anymore.
It is only once of your turns. Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. If it weren't on all the opponent's turns,
So
then it
there
would
were
be
a lot of,
absurd in
like,
Commander.
constraints we had, right? We wanted to do 3 different worlds. And we originally talked about doing 4 different worlds.
I don't know if
and
these
then we did the math. We
teardrops-
realized that the set couldn't fit. Like
Only
3
to
worlds
activate
made more sense than
abilities.
4. So what we did is there were a couple rules we had. One was originally it had to have a
This
style
is
guide, meaning
just pay
we had to
12,
have
put
been
any
to the
number of
world,
permanents from your
and
hand onto the
because we're
battlefield is
making
kind of
3 different
wild.
worlds, and so it's tricky to just make
It's
3 brand
it's a
new
lot of
worlds.
mana. It's a
And
lot of
the other
mana.
thing was, we
But
saw
still,
there was
that's
an
gotta be at least a
opportunity
good against
to
odds card.
revisit worlds that
Imagine-
people had wanted to go
imagine
to
all you could
that we didn't
do.
have space for. One of the dynamics that's tricky is about half our worlds are new,
Winter.
and about half are return.
Oh, it's winter.
And while,
Is that
so
Ghost
we keep
Winter?
making places we could go
That's
back
Ghost
to,
Winter.
but we have only
Wait, no.
like,
Is this
only
Winter from
slots to go
Dustmort?
back.
Yeah.
And that one of the
As a
reasons we like
ghost,
to travel long
riding-
is to let us go to places that we wanted to go back.
There's so
we
much
didn't have
lore I
room
do
on the
not
schedule.
understand.
So when we were plotting
I'm
things
pretty
out,
sure that's
there's a
Winter
bunch of
from
worlds we are going
Dustmort.
back to, lore winter or stuff like that. So we took that off the
Rocking
table,
Out was a
Turkey and
ghost
stuff
on
like
this
that we knew we
car.
were doing. And then we said, okay, what has a style guide that we could go
I
back
mean, is
to?
this
And
card
we made a
good?
list. And the
So
list
it's
got
2
chopped
mana.
down really quickly
You get a
for
little
all sorts of
ward.
technical reasons.
Yeah.
And
in
then
the
for
end,
4 mana,
we picked 2 planes.
you might be able
beyond
to Wrath.
Avatar, and that one of the 2 of them we ended up like.
I mean, 2 mana,
for other
2/3
reasons, we
on
saved for something else
curve.
we didn't end up doing. And so we had to look for a
Oh,
plane that we
Velgamoth.
didn't have a style guide for, and that's when we sort of looked around. And so
wait,
we
chat, how do
decided
we-
to
how do we
one of
say
the planes
this?
That was on
Then-
the battles essentially. That was kind of our short list. Like we've hinted at those worlds and we've named those worlds. And
Then
really, what we wanted
Ven-
was kind
Ven-
of what is cool seeing race
Wixed?
cards driving through.
Venwixed?
And
I'd probably
so
go
we
with
really
Venwix.
did
I
like
think
the
you're so with these you're
idea
just supposed to
of,
add in
the
vowels as you
prehistoric
want.
world was Morgana was our
Vin
prehistoric world. We're like,
Vinwex?
oh, like
Venwex?
it really was a contrast
Is it
to
a
the
is it a
city,
Vin Diesel
and it really was a
reference? Is
contrast
this
to the
homunculus
desert.
Vin
And that's
Diesel?
one of the things we wanted is we wanted each of these to seem very, very different. And we had talked about
I
doing,
feel like this
the
might be-
prehistoric world
this
forever,
might be a
and
good
Morgana had been,
commander
like,
card.
I think Future Sight was our
No
first
max
tease
hand
at
size
it,
does have
'cause we
value.
knew, like one day we knew we'd go there, so we teased that at Future Sight, and we really haven't quite
Vex.
gone there.
We're gonna go with
And
Vex.
so
Vex
when we had to pick
Verbosos.
a world that we hadn't gone to, we went to the creative team obviously, and we said, this is kind of what we want to do, but it requires.
What
some
about
work
this
because
Chandra?
We didn't
4
have a lot of
mana,
work on it. In
4
fact, We looked
loyalty.
at all the cards that were
At the
on
beginning
it,
of combat
and
on
we
your
said, we
turn,
knew 3
you essentially
things,
crew a
and
vehicle
it had
and it
to have
gets haste.
dinosaurs, oozes, and large
Plus
plants. That's what we
2.
knew.
Yeah.
Sack an artifact or discard a card,
Well,
draw a card.
part of returning to the worlds,
0.
is
Make a 2/3
cards
colors field
cool,
artifact
so
creature token, which
So,
4
the
mana,
Gearhulk
3/2
cycle
haste essentially, because you can play this, make the token, auto crew it to get in for 3.
Kaladesh at
And then the
time.
emblem probably does win.
So
Like if
Jonathan,
you
let's
emblem
put
in an
that up on
artifact
the
deck,
screen.
that will kill
Talk a bit
people.
about bringing those back.
Yeah, so we wanted to bring him
Ooh,
back, but of course, we
Oil
wanted
Deep
to find some
Gearhulk.
twist. We considered a lot. Of
I'm
things
excited for
and ended
Gearhulk's
up
coming
with
back.
a
I love the old
simple
ones.
solution of there's
4
two
mana,
colors,
4/4
they've
lifelink
got
ward.
key-
When this
keywords,
creature
and
enters,
I think they
look
ended
at
up
target
in a very
player's hand.
exciting
You may choose a
place.
card from it. If you do, that player discards that
Yeah,
card, then
speaking of
draws a
competitive formats,
card.
This one looks fairly strong.
Oh yeah, we felt
Okay.
like blue and black needed more.
I mean, oh no. I mean, at least it's a little expensive to this
And
town.
this is an allied cycle.
Allied cycle. Okay.
A little expensive to
and
this
then
town
I
ain't
think
big
this
enough,
one
but this
has
is
a
fine,
few
right? We've seen seen
versions
like
of
Vanillion
it
Click? This is
as
essentially like a
well.
Vanillion Click. Wow, look at that yellow. Look at that yellow border. that
Miguel,
is the yellowest
we talked
card
a
I've
bit
ever
about the
seen.
first place
I mean, I said I
foil
want a gold
cards.
border back.
But
I didn't
Miguel,
expect
I'm
it to be in a
interested in
tournament
that
legal set, but
graffiti
gold border's
style
back.
there. What is
I mean,
that
that card's not
info?
bad. It
Yeah,
does
so
kind of
the
feel a little
graffiti
bit like
style,
an
we're gonna see a
uncommon.
bunch
But I
across a
mean,
bunch
4
of
mana
different
4/4
cards.
lifelink
The graffiti that we
is
our
already
art
pretty
director's design background
reasonable.
is
And then
is
you
entirely
also get
bespoke,
to
right?
maybe
It's
thought
made up
seize.
for the set, these treatments. It's sort of a nod.
The yellow border, yeah. I love
in
yellow
chatting
border
with some of our art
cards.
designers preparing for this, what they wanted to
I
convey
actually
is that
think
this is a nod
the
to
P
like,
border,
Abishkar's,
the P border.
youthful,
I
like,
mean,
post-revolutionary orientation. Right?
I think this
So
card's actually
graffiti is
good.
an art style that demands precision.
It's got a good
skill,
ETB. Like
and
in
speed.
standard right
It sort of
now,
feels like a
you
really
need
nice
ETBs,
parallel,
right?
to,
You
like, the
need
vehicle and
because
racing
everyone's
that we're
discounting
seeing
and
set.
bouncing.
It's like certain
This is
some
fine.
windows,
It's even got a little
you
ward
coming
on
from
there, a
underground,
low ward, but still,
to
it's got
be
a ward.
accepted, yet still sort of
It seems like a
transgressive
fine
art
mid
form,
range threat.
and so on. So it's really intended to like.
I don't think the yellow border is
to
ugly.
continue to bring
I
that
think it's
meaning,
it's
present in the
beautiful.
set from the world building through to its art style.
You're,
One of its
I mean,
as well.
urine speaks louder than
I think Danny wants
words.
to say something. I do want to. I see people in chat talking about the yellow border. This is what we were talking about with that video. This does not do it justice. We're gonna have more videos on social media. The video we showed.
You
earlier
actually
with
can't
the
choose a land. That is
basic
actually
land, that was an example of that foiling.
that
The
is
foiling
actually
gonna look
a good
more
point
like
that I
and less
overlooked.
Like,
Almost
yellow.
no discard lets you hit
Advanced
lands.
said it's yellow.
It's
I don't know how
It's
relevant
not just yellow.
that is on turn
it is shiny, it
4.
looks really
If you could
good.
like thought seize a land, it would be so busted because then you just
yeah,
mana
you
screw
wanna go.
people. But
Yeah, we landed on the allied colors partially because the next set we've got coming out, Tarkir Dragon Storm, focuses more on the enemy colors with its wedges and clans.
okay. Enemy color is coming in Dragonstorm.
Well, speaking of getting them excited, we do have a second Gear Hulk. We
It
kicked
is
off
it
with
is clicky, isn't
Gear
it?
Hulk, so here's
Isn't
the
it Magic
Firewood
Magic card?
Gear Hulk.
Well, this is a mythic.
7/7,
Pyrewood Gear
6
Hulk.
mana.
6 mana, 7/7 Vigilance Menace. It's a Gruul Gear Hulk. When it enters, other creatures you control get +2/+2 and gain Vigilance and Menace until end of turn. Damage can't be prevented this turn. This is the answer to the One Ring.
I love the
Fog meta is in shambles. It is in shambles thanks to the Pyrewood Gear Hulk. I mean, 6 mana, 7/7, some stats.
A mighty memorial to a fallen savior.
I feel like this is, it's more
So
like
how
the
many
Pain
iterations,
Bacon,
John,
right?
did you go through
It doesn't have
Gear Hulk?
haste, though.
Some of them, like.
Actually, I think this
print,
card
did you
sucks.
go through a lot
I think
of
this card
different versions of
probably
these? 'Cause I know you're
sucks.
sculpting them for tournament play.
Yeah, we went through a lot, mostly
Sculpted
working
for
with different
tournament
teams.
play, really?
Like we considered versions where we had additional other mechanics or were using other elements.
I'm
in
not
the set.
convinced.
But at the
I'm
end,
not
we ended up
convinced
with
this
more
card's good.
simple,
I feel like it's
one very
fringe.
splashy enters the battlefield ability
If
with
it,
the
it's
original Gear
it's
Hulk.
a tough mana
But
cost.
two
You got 2
keywords.
double colored
2 keywords,
symbols.
okay, so you see
It
the
does have big
Menace here,
stats.
the black, blue,
I guess if you
white,
end up in a
war,
fog
gear.
meta,
Okay.
then it gets better.
They're all
If there's
followed.
some reason that damage can't be prevented is relevant,
All right, so now
then I could see it
let's
mattering,
move
but
on to,
just
we're
as
gonna
base
talk
rate,
about
I'm
the
kinda
lands
like,
a bit. The lands are.
I feel like the Demir one is better.
Certainly important from a flavor perspective, but they're also pretty powerful.
All right, let's see the
here.
lands.
So we're getting the second half of
Oh, the
cycle
Verges?
that we've already seen. Let's throw those up on the screen.
All right. The Verges.
Yeah, the one thing really interesting about the land.
I need
is
these yellow cards,
because
chat.
of
I
the
need these
race.
yellow cards.
The idea of seeing where you're
They
going,
are
seeing
so
the
cool.
environment.
Oh, this
Like
might
in
be my
Camelot's
favorite
set where we
treatment.
have 3 times the
I don't know
world to
why.
see.
I just
Yeah.
love
Land,
the.
you have
I love
a
these
much
yellow
larger
cards.
role
I mean, the
of
Verges are
filling
fine.
out
Verges are a
all
solid
of
land
this role.
cycle.
Yeah, well, and I think you can even see that sort of conceptually here, where it's in a place, but the portal's to another place, and
I'm glad they're.
That's how you
I'm glad
get
they're
the
back.
range from both.
So
Miguel,
technically, you
I'm
can do
also,
20 of these, right?
interested.
So this completes
all
the
of this
first
flavor
cycle.
text
Then
is
you could
about
technically do a
really
whole nother cycle.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
That's the same thing but
Yeah, I think
opposite.
we're
So
trying to
like
hint that
your
Luke's
Is It
a really
land
important
starts with
character in
blue,
the
then
story
makes
more
red.
so-
When this one starts with red, then makes
Luke-
blue. So we have
so
10.
for,
They can technically do 20 in
I should
the
say,
in the
well, Luke
future.
is-
The
he's a very
inverse,
young
yeah,
creature.
Verges.
He's a beast that is found inside.
Yeah,
the
what do you
fox
think of the yellow border, chat? Okay, give me a rating for the yellow border. I'm super curious because I just saw someone say they hate it, and I love it.
From Jace, from Vraska,
What is
from
your take,
people
chat,
who
on the yellow border?
are,
The Verges play well.
interacted with him.
Yeah, I mean
Jace,
they come into play untapped.
Obviously, he
Wow, a lot of
if
people
you read
hate
the
it.
story- If you read the story, you will
Ev-
find that he needs to look for some critical aspects of his sort of design. His plans.
I am the
Vraska
only
side,
person.
he's hunting for loot ever since he lost.
I am the
during
only
this
person here that likes the
in this
yellow.
series,
Yeah,
to
it's
show
so
off,
beautiful, so
sort of
beautiful.
the why behind why
Inject
someone would
that
want to,
yellow border straight into my veins.
Have either,
Wow,
have
it
loot
is
in their possession or
unanimous.
be very
Unanimous in chat.
Um,
Everyone hates it except
it's
me.
highlighting his powers in action, guiding, either the fewer or at least
Oh, I'm
yourself,
gonna play these.
through
I'm gonna
Omen
play
paths,
these so
from one
much.
plane to the next. The
It's
powers
so
that
bad. It's
he has that we
it's
know of
like
are related to Omen
it's
paths.
like the faithless looting that
sort of
everyone
very fabric
hated.
of the
Like
multiverse itself.
it's so unique.
He can't make them, but he can find them.
It's
and,
so
you
unique
can see
that
sort of his powers
that it's
interacting with
actually
Omen
kind of
paths that he's
good.
found,
That this one,
in the
this,
art for these cards.
everyone hated this card too, and I love
Now,
this
Mark, you
faithless looting because
started
it's just so
talking about this. Can you
different.
talk more about the role the lands play in like creating this feeling of a race?
Yes, we know what verges do, Blake. We know what verges do.
Okay, when we're doing
You
a race,
can speed it
one of
up,
the key
Blake.
elements
We
of a
move on
race
from
is
verges. All right, let's.
progression,
While they're
of
rambling about
seeing all the
verges,
different
let's
things. And the
let's
reason
look at
we chose
another
the lands in
card.
it is, like, it's neat to see them racing on dunes.
This
and
Basri, I
racing,
feel like.
you know, the
So we just
prehistoric
played
forests
Cats
and
and
stuff like that.
Standard.
And so,
Is
in
this
fact,
how much does this
didn't end
improve
up making
Cats?
it
So the
into
problem I
the
have
stuff,
with
like,
this,
we had a mechanic,
and this is part of
one
why.
handoff that
This
we,
is part of
talked
why
about is
I
using lands
really
as a
dislike
way to represent
Sunfall.
that you've gone-
This
you've
card
gone
would be
distance, you've
insane
gone
in a lot of
space.
metas.
But we
In a
but
cat deck.
visually,
In a cat deck
like I
in
said, we
specific.
do
So
think
cats would
the
have to
thing
be
that's
good.
really nice in
But a
that
1-mana
set is
1/2 that
that
exerts to make
you
a
really
cat
get a
with
chance to
lifelink.
see all
You
the
can
roles
cycle
we're
it,
on
and when you
and
cycle
get
it,
to
give
see
your
all
cat
the
hexproof
different
and indestructible.
possibilities.
Every cat deck would want that.
And, like
It
I
is
said,
so
it is-
perfect for a
I don't know
cat deck.
more about the
The
mechanics
problem
of the
is
lands, but
you
I
still
do
get
think the
crushed
lands
by Sunfall in
capture a
Standard.
sense of
So we'll have to
race
see how much it
that
matters
no
with
other
Sunfall still around.
world
I feel like
concept
Basri Cat
Yeah, and I
is
especially enjoy of these
at
versions,
least going to
you
be
know, we got to
a
pick the
cat
creative
commander
teams while
all-star.
working alongside the
But
Dustmores
Sunfall
team.
makes me
And
nervous
the idea
in
of
Standard.
being
I
on
would
versus
still
something
play
that's
it
perfect
in
for
Cats and
showing the
Standard.
Omen paths,
But
and you see two of
but I
them,
think it's a little
so
worse.
you can
Yes.
start.
Oh, look at that. Look at that chat. Look at them.
All right, and we continue the journey on
that
our
border.
next set of lands. We
But
have
Basri,
down
I
in the
think.
notes
I think the
the
new Basri is
Country
very
Road
good.
cycle.
What about-
So let's see.
Oh, wait.
These,
Hey,
what's the
Country
creation of
Roads.
these and their place in the
Take
set?
me home.
Yeah,
West
so we
Virginia,
decided very early
Mountain
on, this is a
Mama.
racing set, it's gonna be a vehicle
Enters tapped
set,
unless you control a
and
mount or
lot of
vehicle.
working with
Makes
vehicles
white, and
is,
then you pay 2 and sack it. Create a
knowing how you're gonna
pilot
pilot them, crew them
that
reliably, and so
saddles,
these
mounts, or
lands are
crews of
geared to make everyone's got
vehicles,
access
although
to
its power was
just a
too
little bit
greater.
more,
See,
ability to generate
that doesn't
food.
make sense to me. So, Watsy,
Now,
I
it
know.
is the- The set is about vehicles. The heart.
I don't
is
feel
about
like the
vehicles,
skill
and
set of a
so,
pilot is necessarily
these
going to let
lands very
them
much are leaning into
hop on a Gitrog monster or a horse and ride it away.
These always-
Steph
I mean,
Ledge, welcome to the
these
Fishbowl.
seem to
Thank
have
you
exact
so much for your
impact
subscription.
with
Thank
everything
you, thank you.
Varying
See, a
them,
pilot,
would
can
you
a
want
pilot
them to
do
be
that?
all
I feel like
the
those are two different skill
Yeah, there is some
sets.
thought to it,
Why would
but
you be, because you're good at
making,
driving a plane or a
you know, that
vehicle,
design
also be good at
certainly
riding
around
some
vehicles,
random
you
animal?
need a
I don't
lot of
think
things
I don't
to
think it
support
necessarily
them.
carries
So it's
over.
really crucial to
So
make sure
flavor
that
fail,
everything
but
is set. So we
reef
like
roads,
having
foul
them be the
roads,
same for
rock,
every color,
rock.
and,
Rocky
really
roads.
enable everyone to play with vehicles.
It is a
And
reasonably good
another
ice
thing
cream
that's important
flavor.
is,
I'd say Rocky Road is like
one of the challenges.
that's
of
probably
lands
like
is
a high
you wanna
B,
make
low
lands
A.
that are good but not too good.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we really go hard, meaning this is really good.
Don't tell me
but
I don't
in
know how
the
to ride a
right
horse.
deck,
I've been driving a
allows
car
us to
for
make
15
things
years.
that are much
Exactly.
stronger than they would be if they're just, you know.
I mean, these
they're strong no
seem-
matter what, then it's hard for us to make them. But these, okay, they go in a very particular thing, and that is a
Yeah.
deck that cares about vehicles.
They go in a
and
very
mounts. So,
specific
yeah.
deck. Like,
that's
if
just
you
we-
are
we get leader
a
in our team,
mono-color
and
deck
it's
that's
a
built around vehicles or
stronger-
mounts,
it's,
these
you know,
seem
it's a
pretty
niche,
good.
but, hey,
It's a
that
way
niche is
that you
very strong.
can
Yeah.
use a
Well, and I
land
love,
to
just
crew a
like the
vehicle,
bird
which is
cycle,
nice.
the
So I
art
feel
is-
like they're
feels like
fine,
taking
but they're only
a
going to go in.
long
It's probably
race,
more of a
you can
limited,
snippets
more of a
the
limited thing.
places
If a
in the
vehicle or
plan.
mount deck emerges,
see
I could
that
see like a
again,
copy or two showing up.
in the common
We do have like
rule
Crucible
lands,
Worlds effects in Standard, which make them better.
Which we've seen.
Oh,
these
the
before,
Cheaty
but
lands.
they're
The
good.
Cheaty lands are
But
back.
They do
These-
take us on a
This is the
tour
worst land
of,
cycle in
the
Commander.
race. Miguel
I
talked a
will
little
I
bit
will stand by
about,
that because these are the lands that you play on turn 1, and then
Yeah, so
and then you just get
lands, like,
smacked
on the
because
world building team, lands
because
are
you have the
always
highest
kind of
life
fun
total.
to get to work with because the, in
I like the art
any
on
given
some
card,
of
you
these
get, like,
though.
what, 2
Look at
inches
the
of space to
Amonkhet
put
Dismal
art on. The
Backwater
right
is
art
pretty
is,
sweet.
super
So this is
immediate
kind
way
of showing
conveying,
the
world
race, I guess,
building,
through the different
story,
planes.
tone,
We see some
everything
like
that we want our players to,
Kaladesh
pick
and
up on.
Swiftwater
And
Cliffs Cliffs,
they engage with our sets.
Amonkhet. I don't know what
So having these
Morganda.
lands,
Rugged Highlands, maybe?
we
Is that
kinda knew from the
Morganda?
top that we were just going to show scenes of the race. You're going to see other cards.
I
other
mean,
teams
when
like-
it comes
in
to
the
lower
Planeswalker
rarity
strategy, like, there's
lands,
multiple different divisions,
I'm pretty
also,
fine with
like,
them
technical
printing
stuff.
them. I feel
but
like
the
they're
getting a chance to show off
mostly
more
for limited
scenes of
anyway.
the
So
race,
whatever's going to be good
and
for
to
limited,
show off more
I'm
vistas,
kind of fine
planes
with
that
it.
we're on,
It is
more
nice that it seems
vehicles
like
that
there's
we've
going to be a lot of
designed,
fixing. I feel like a lot of
and just
fixing,
sort of continue to build
like
a sense
Swiftwater
of,
Cliffs
like,
or Sweetwater
this,
Cliffs,
you know, how
makes
Marcus talked
makes the
earlier
limited
with
format
the
better.
travelogue of the multiverse. There are things.
What do you
happening
think
on
about-
camera and off camera?
What do you
right?
think about the last ride?
there's so much.
So it's literally Death Shadow. Straight up Death Shadow.
Sort of figured these
on a vehicle that cruised for 2.
What else is happening?
And you can pay 3, draw a card. Pay 3 and 2 life to draw a card. It is legendary.
Yeah, these are always great to have for limited, for have some extra
maybe
mana
historic
fixing,
or timeless.
I appreciate that the gain life
Even there,
aspect
like
of
the
that.
problem is I
And
see
making
in
sure
Death
that
Shadow
set
decks,
doesn't
you usually
get
have a
too
few big
aggressive.
Death Shadow
A lot
creatures.
of things-
I
a
don't
lot
know
of
if
the
those
concerns we
decks
had
are
around
going to
the
have the
set were a bit
crewers to
ending up
crew
very
a vehicle
aggressive,
Death Shadow.
both because vehicles can sometimes tend that
But I
way,
guess maybe you
and
played as a
also the
one
racing
of.
theme of the set wanted us to really promote.
It is a
that
Death
and
Shadow
get
that
it
you can
out
play
there.
on turn 1, which is neat.
All
Because
right,
until
and then
you
let's
crew
take
it,
a look at one last.
it's not
set
going to
of
die.
lands to
It's not even going to be a
keep this
creature.
Racing theme. So these are the full art driver's seat basic lands.
All right,
which
sure. Wait,
literally put
are
you
they
in
driving
the
a
driver's
boat?
seat
Look at that steer.
in the race.
What is going on with the island?
Mhm.
That steering wheel. This one makes sense. This one makes sense. This one makes
Yeah, I love
sense.
how
And this
the cycles
dude's
all
he's
still
sailing
follow
his
that guy.
sailing his way to the Ether Spark.
And also,
Yes.
the racing teams. Like I love that the island is a pirate hill.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, they went all out. Not only gold
Yep,
border, they just
swamp
golded the
seat
whole
in the
thing.
vehicle, and yeah.
They just went over the whole.
Very cool,
They went
very
over the whole art and they
flavorful.
just golded.
Those are the
They
full
just
art
golded it.
driver's seat basic lands. All right, now of course everybody's
Oh, these
racing. They're
lands.
racing for a prize.
Yes, they're racing. What are we racing for, Blake?
We've talked about that prize before, but we've finally shown off the card today. So,
Oh,
Miguel,
you've-
talk to us a little bit about the.
I am curious what they have to say about Ether Spark.
Yeah, so background on the Aether Spark. This is a Planeswalker Spark that has been captured at the moment of manifestation, following a process devised by...
I still don't know what to
on-
think of
on
this
Oshkar.
card.
The Aether Spark itself is suspended inside of this artifact. It was originally intended
So you
to be
play
a
it,
tool that
you
would
need a
allow
creature,
common
plus to
person
equip.
to traverse the multiverse, sort of a prototype, a proof of concept that this power could be made accessible to everyone. However,
And then your opponent has to kill the
creation kind of
creature to
coincided
be able to
with the
attack the
opening of
Ether
own paths.
Spark.
So while like the Aether Spark is not obsolete, it's been rendered to be more of a
So
like
the
an
turn you
exotic
play it, it doesn't do
curiosity. It's a
anything.
valuable
Your
artifact.
best case is the turn you play it, you have another creature, plus when you put it on that creature, it gets a counter.
As it could have been.
That creature attacks,
The-
maybe
the
gets you some
story dives into
loyalty.
The sort of the nuts and bolts of its creation.
Also
as-
worth mentioning,
as much as the story
it
does.
is
But
worded
yeah,
like Umazawa's Jite, right?
for us
Whenever
on the
equipped
World
creature
Team, again,
deals
this is a
combat
own path
damage
narrative
during your
story,
turn,
and-
doesn't say to a
and the
player.
Spark is,
So even if your opponent chump blocks,
I don't want to say like
you're still going to get
curiosity
loyalty.
in a
So if you
bad
put
way,
this
but
on a
it's
big
curiosity
creature, you're
in
going to get a
that
lot
it's
of
like
loyalty.
a,
I just don't know what you're spending it on. So imagine a
an
scenario
embodiment
where
of
you
the
like
time before,
have a
and
creature
we thought it
Ether
would be,
Spark, equip it,
super
attack,
interesting to
get up
have
to
in
10
there
loyalty the next turn,
as
and make 10 mana.
as
Okay, that's kind of
a
insane.
valuable prize.
Draw
as-
2
as a
cards.
story
Maybe
hook for
maybe this
later.
card's actually busted.
Spoiler a bit
This
in
card's so
its
weird
card
to
art
me.
there.
I keep going back. I don't think there's middle ground
just-
on this card.
yeah,
I
all
feel like this
really
card
fun to design
either
around.
going to be
It's a fun
stone
problem to
unplayable
have to
and it's
figure
just going to
out,
flop. And I gotta think, with this being, I mean, one of the yellow border cards, but this being the headliner with the serialized version and all that, there's no way they would make this card suck, right? So maybe this card's actually busted. It's hard for me to imagine it just being okay. I feel like this is either like a broken build around that's the best card in your deck, or it's unplayable. I can't see it just being like, oh, it's a good value card. Equip it. Oh yeah, it does work well with double strike, doesn't it?
And so wanted to find a capture of it, find a design.
4 mana is a
capture
little
how epic of
steep.
a
It is a
process
little
would be,
steep.
but also something that anyone could potentially attain.
Mm-hmm.
So thought a lot about all the ways that a
What is
creature
the
could become
flavor
a
of this?
planeswalker, and we could show that. But
So if you
it's,
win the
pretty
race, you get to become a
difficult to turn
planeswalker? Is that what they're
turn
going
into a
for?
creature type into
The
a
one
planeswalker.
bling?
There's a lot of rules baggage with that.
I mean, it's
Whereas
definitely
this
not the One
has
Ring,
surprisingly little
thankfully.
rules baggage. You could already
Because he being the only problem with
combination of
Boggles
cards
is
that
4
become a
mana is just
planeswalker
so
creature,
much.
and the
But
rules
maybe
just
like
kind of
standard
work for that.
Boggles.
So this design
Stack
is,
it on
letting
a
you
creature with
equip it to your
ward. We got
creature,
Sheltered by
that gives the creature
Ghosts.
Spark more power, which then you can use for these abilities that are.
Maybe you don't even need to, like, the protection is just having it on a creature, right? Yeah, that's the upside. Like, if you can play this on a big creature, get in that attack, you could theoretically make 10 extra mana the next turn, which probably wins you the game.
For sort of spurring people to compete in the race, like what is a prize that is that
I
would
think
drive
that I
people
don't
to
think it would
compete
really
in that
benefit
race,
Boggles.
right?
I think the idea
But also
was
has
if you
to
put in
be,
a hexproof
very
creature,
locally powerful
your
in
opponent's
that it
gonna have a
can't
really hard time dealing with
change,
this.
in
Here's
this set,
another
it can't change the
concern.
direction of the multiverse, right?
Here's
But
another
it
concern.
can,
And this
certainly,
isn't a
like,
bad thing. This is a
be
good thing.
like,
But
locus of
there are a
gravity
lot of
around
artifacts in
which
this
an
set. Like,
entire
just a
story
little bit of the set we've
can
seen so
hinge.
far.
So the Aether Spark,
It's a lot of artifacts in a strong artifact sub theme. We're in a standard right now where people are very focused on enchantments because of Unholy Annex, Caretaker's Talent, because of what we got in Dustmourning and Bloomburrow. People are very, very prepared for enchantments, but no one's really playing artifacts. That might change thanks to this. I think people might have to be prepared for artifacts. It's also going to be very interesting because we're in 3-year standard now, right? So if you go back 3 years ago almost, we got Brothers War. We have a lot of artifact stuff. We might need to go back and reevaluate Brothers War and all the artifacts from back then in the context of getting all these new Dustmourne artifacts.
We anticipated this
Because I feel like that might change the equation for Urza and Mishra and some of that.
About mechanics and
We need an artifact
vehicles
get
and mounts
lost.
specifically. So, Mark.
I don't know if these vehicles are.
Okay, so
I don't
we're
know.
doing a racing set.
All right,
And
what do you
one of the
say,
things we
Mero?
said very early on is it's a travelogue. We want the worlds to show up. We want, like we had the Gearhulk. Like we wanted to see the characters and places and things of the world showing up. But first and foremost, it is a racing set. It is about racing. And I mean, top of the line, what does that mean? Like vehicles have to matter. Like we knew that like part of doing a racing set is we wanted vehicles to matter. And the way we thought of it is, look, there's a spectrum. There's like the low end of the spectrum. So what's the least number of vehicles? 0. Sets have 0. We made sets with 0. But what is the most? And I sort of said,
So this is going to be War of the
set is
Spark for
that
vehicles?
upper end of the spectrum. I don't know what it is. I knew that
Well, Brothers
Johnny,
Zen's
play
gonna be
design,
insane.
Like, a lot of other teams would have to figure out the
Yeah, I
right
hit the
amount,
wrong thing and
but I knew that
accidentally-
whatever we were at,
accidentally
we should
turned
be
my
near
camera
the top
off.
of what was doable.
Can we get a
Not
link
that I
for
understood
spoilers?
exactly
Yes.
how
If you
much
ever want to
was
keep up on
doable.
all the latest
What
spoilers,
we did is we
you
spent
should
a
head on
lot
over
of
to
time
mtdpreviews.com.
in vision design, saying,
Neotek
okay,
does a
how
very
do we
good job
make
of getting them
how do we
uploaded
make a lot of
quickly. So
vehicles? we came up with
typically,
a
they're
few things we had to
uploaded
do.
pretty much in real
One
time.
was we made the conclusion that we shouldn't try to make a vehicle deck. That's just too hard to do. There's a lot of because vehicles need creatures, but anyway, it
Are
causes
you
a lot of
worried
problems.
at all,
We
chat?
said what we want to do is let's just make a lot of cool vehicles so that many, many different decks could play a handful of vehicles.
Do you think that'll happen? Do you think that'll... Hey, what's up, Cat Cam Fan? You're missing... It's spoiler day. It's spoiler day for Aetherdrift. So Wizard's plan, chat, isn't going to happen. It sounds like Wizard's plan is we make a bunch of generically good vehicles and people will play them. Are these vehicles generically good enough that we've seen so far to actually see play? I don't know if I'm convinced. I guess they have a lot of text, so I'm probably going to have to read them closer. I'm a little skeptical because
And the
I
third
thought
thing
the
we're always
vehicles,
looking at
remember
is it
Kamigawa Neon
also helps
Dynasty?
if there's more ways to
I
turn
thought we
into,
got Mech Titan Core. We got so much
creature
support for a
than just
vehicles
crew.
deck.
Yeah, most of us
And
should have
it
crew
still
things
turned
like
out that,
vehicles
like,
to have, but,
the vehicles are kind
one
of
the ways we
medium.
can
They
really
weren't
make
actually
different
very
decks
good.
care
Like, we
is
played it
give
for
you
Budget
alternate
Magic or
ways
Muncher
to
Brew or
turn into
something, but it never
vehicles.
became a
And
real
so we
archetype.
really explored
I
that.
feel like if
So
those ones
those
didn't
three
catch
vectors,
on...
we spent a lot of time, and a
What
lot
is-
of what we
is
did in
this thing
Vision
good?
was just trying every pot.
So
what
3
are all
mana
the different
5/5
secondary ways we can
trample.
do things?
Cruise
What
for
are all the
3,
different
which is a
ways we
high
can throw
number.
them in?
Yeah.
And
Each
then
other
give set
vehicle
designs
creature
a-
controls
a
enters with
suite
an
of
additional
things we can
counter
do,
on it.
so they
If
can
its
pick
mana
and do what
value is
they want
4
to
or
do.
less.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
And that was kind of the heart
3
of
additional
how to make
counters.
vehicles matter.
Now, I'm not sure if this happened.
I mean, it's going to make your
or
team
set
really
design or
big.
somewhere
Works with
between,
plus one
but
plus
this
one
set
counter
also includes
synergies.
Mounts.
Maybe
Yeah,
in a
that
counter.
was Vision.
Maybe in a
Okay,
counter
so
deck.
The interesting story here, a lot of people are like, what?
Yeah,
why did
if
you
they're
bring this again
vehicles,
back
we'll have
so
to
quickly?
see.
And I'm like,
That's
not
probably
happening.
what's going to determine it. If it's a vehicle
We
like
were trying to solve
Bankbuster or
the
something,
problem. We
where you
knew
get
in
the
a race
value with
that
it not
some
being a
people would
creature,
want to
the
ride
odds
things.
go
So
up.
we said, okay,
Like,
let's
this
see
thing's
if we can
pretty
solve
intriguing.
that. And the way
3 mana
we solved it
5/5
in this
menace.
set was
When you discard
make
one
it
or
like
more
an
cards,
offshooting of
create
Proof.
that many tapped
Like,
2/2
that's
black
the
zombie
easiest way to
creature
do it, 'cause
tokens.
we wanted
So
cards
that
like
you can
Armor
just
Proof.
play
Well,
and discard
what
your
if we
hand
made
and
a
make a
ride
huge
mechanic
board.
kinda
That
like
actually
Proof?
seems kind of sweet if you build
Meanwhile,
around
a
it.
completely different team, ironically, that I also read the
Boomobile, 4 mana
was
5/5.
Conjunction.
When it
And they
enters,
were
it
trying
adds
to
4
solve the
mana of any
problem
one
with a different
color.
vantage
Spend
point,
it
which is,
only to activate
hey, we
abilities.
have a Western theme.
This vehicle at
Cowboys riding
3
horses
and
is about
X
as
deals
Western
X
as it
damage
gets.
to any target.
And
Put a
so
plus
they
one
were
plus
trying
one
to
counter
solve
on
the
this
problem in a
vehicle.
different way.
So you play
They,
this,
being
get back
me,
your 4 mana, and you can
we
deal
solved
1
it in a
damage to
different
something
way,
right
which is
away.
A lot more top down. When I say it was mutate-ish,
It doesn't-
quite as
it
complicated as
seems,
mutate, but
like,
you put the
okay.
creature on the horse, and they became one
Maybe some of
creature
these
shared
vehicles
together,
actually
and
will be
It was just
good.
a more complicated version of what we
Yeah.
were trying to do. And once we did did it here, or it was clear that we shouldn't do the same thing
Collodion
approach
Triumph
in
Caster
completely
seems
different
kind of
ways.
interesting depending
And
on what
we just came
vehicles
up
we
with
get.
the cleaner, easier, more intuitive to learn
Mounts and
thing.
vehicles have
And so we
haste.
went and talked. Dave Humphreys was the
Whenever a
head of
mount
Bentley
you
for
control
that, and we
enters,
said,
it becomes
"Look, let's not
saddled
do it
until
two
end
different
of turn.
ways. Let's just do it this
Ooh.
way." So they were first, so they
Ooh.
introduced mounts.
We might
but
have to build
mounts
that
actually got
with.
designed by this team, and then
We might
moved
have to build
over
that
to
with
others.
a Gitrog Ravenous
Before we get
Ride.
to some
Having
safe
your mount
vehicles, let's take a look
saddled
at one of
right
those
away
mount
actually seems
trucks
kind
we're
of
telling the
powerful.
mount story
That's actually a
here.
neat card. Oh wait,
So
new
this
card.
is
New card.
Lagarin Soul
Lagarin,
of
Soul of Elsyria.
Yeah, so while,
2 mana 1/1 fly. Oh no, we
didn't wanna
saw
focus so
this.
much on
We already
cramming
saw
all the
this.
vehicles into some
This was
content,
one of the
we did know
partners
some
for one of the
people
legends.
would
We did see
mostly
this.
just want to
This
grab
card's
all the vehicles
fine
and
in some
get
sort of
that
vehicle deck,
and put
but
it all together. So bundling together
yeah,
mounts
no
and
haste.
vehicles was a good way to ensure that even if you just drew
oh no,
all your
all
cards
vehicles and
on
mounts have
this
haste.
bucket,
Yeah, that's the
you'd
first
still be
line.
able to do
So you
some
get
things.
haste, you play
This
a
is a good
mount, it's
example of a
automatically
card that
saddled
bundles
for the
together
turn.
mounts and
You play a
vehicles.
vehicle,
Green,
it's
white, and
automatically a
red,
creature
white.
until end of
Limited
turn.
archetypes are especially about filling your decks.
Oh yeah, I
with
guess you need to
mounts and vehicles,
sacrifice.
and
Oh, that
cards
makes
that
it
can
way
help
less
you do that.
cool.
Yeah, the trick. To
Yeah,
mount
that's
a
actually
saddle
way
card, to
less
saddle
fun.
is they're already creatures, right?
It's still
So
kind of a neat
the key to
commander.
crewing is you
I mean,
turn it
I
into a
like that we're
creature.
getting
So
we're getting
the
all
value
these
of
two
saddle had
drops.
to
Like
be,
that's
well, the creature is better
a
in some way
mana
because
cost
you're
that could
doing
be
that.
playable.
And
Like
normally
all
what we
these
wanna
random
do
like
is
2 mana
really
2/3s,
encourage
2
you to
mana
attack, because
3/2s.
that's the whole point of using
Those
saddle.
are
So we
cards
tend to give them
that
attack
in the
triggers
right
and
deck
stuff
you
like
could
that.
play. They're just cheap enough that you could
And another
theoretically
big part of
play.
getting vehicles in unlimited
So that
is
part's
getting
kind
every
of
color
nice
pair,
at least.
uncommon, gold,
They
silver.
all die to cut
With the
down.
exception of green white. This is green white's
Good
vehicle,
old,
because
good
green white
old
vehicles are all about
standard.
writing mounts.
What does this one do?
Let's
Put a
actually-
+1/+1
that's a
counter
great
on it. Then you
segue,
have base
because
power and
our
toughness
next
of
two
each other
cards
creature
are
you
some of
control
those
becomes equal to its power.
uncommon
Ew.
vehicles. So we've got
Ugh.
Rocketeer Boost Buggy and
Rocketeer Boost
Rangers
Buggy and
Ether
a
Hive.
Rangers Ether
All
Hive.
right, tell us how these cards came to be.
Yeah, so these both
So
feature
2
the
mana
exhaust
3/2,
mechanic
crew
that
1.
we'll cover
Whenever it
more,
attacks, create a
later.
treasure. Okay, that's not
But they're
bad.
both good examples
Exhaust
of
3.
how
This vehicle
vehicles
becomes an
do a
artifact
thing,
creature. Put a +1/+1.
when you're not
Oh,
crewing them normally.
so it just
The
permanently
red
turns
green
into a
one has an ability
creature.
that turns it into a creature
So
without
5
using a
mana,
crew,
Yep.
and the green blue
So it's
one
a 5
has
mana,
that ability on the
4/3.
battlefield that will generate creatures that can help you crew it.
that when it attacks, you make a treasure
Also
or a
point out,
2
we
mana
haven't talked about these
vehicle.
yet, but we've got the borderless revved up cards. So you're
I
gonna
mean, I
see
like the
these
treasure
on
part.
a lot of vehicles.
Rangers Ether Hive, 3 mana 3/5 crew 1, Vigilance. Whenever you activate an exhaust ability, create a 1/1 colorless artifact creature token with flag.
All right. Now,
you can't activate
we're gonna
exhaust
next reveal
repeatedly,
the best
though.
card in the set, bar none. The name's great. The effect is great. This card is. Perfect.
Oh, that's so good.
Hold on.
So
Hole
the funny
Drifter.
thing about this is, so when I made Evoke many, many years ago,
5
the
mana
very
3/2
first
flying.
card I
When it
made
enters,
to
draw 2
prove
cards.
Evoke
Screw
worked
for
was Hole
3.
Drifter.
That is a
And
a
so
good a
when
nice
we were
callback.
making
Good
vehicles,
reference.
One of the, I mean,
I mean, the card
one of the
itself is not very
very
good.
first suite of ones we
5
made,
mana. There's no. We need the evoke. We need the evoke.
call
Yeah,
it
it's
Mold
it's
Drifter,
very
that's what we
limited,
call it.
limited-ish.
Space
Yeah.
But it
Drifter.
is a
That's so good,
cool.
too.
Is there a way they could have had a head
And so
evoke?
this
That's the
card
biggest
is
thing it's
been tweaked,
missing
but,
is
this card is one of the earliest vehicles we made.
some way to
so
get
we
it into
knew
play
that one
on
of
the
the ways to
cheap.
make cool vehicles was
It is a
to give
common.
them a cool enters effect.
But so
right?
was
Like,
Muldrifter
in some ways,
originally.
if you have a cool spell and you
What
get a lot of
about-
value out of the spell, then okay, the vehicle doesn't have to carry
What
much
about this
weight
treatment?
because, hey, you got
What
a
do you
lot of
think?
equity right
What do
off
you
the
think?
bat.
I don't. What are they calling it?
And
Revved
our
up.
drawing is
What do you think of the
awesome,
revved
so-
up style?
I mean, I think this pun got us there probably.
What does
really
this look like? I
Yes,
don't even
but also
know
your love
what
of this
style this
card
is.
is somewhat
I
the
guess it's
point.
fine.
Getting
Not-
convincing
it's no
people to
yellow
put
border,
vehicles in
but-
their decks can be
Oh, we do have a
challenging.
lot of
They have
power
a fail
stones.
case
That's
where you don't
true.
have creatures to
The
create
set
them.
seems
And so we
underpowered.
deliberately made many vehicles
I
that
wouldn't.
fall
I
back
wouldn't
to
say that
classic
yet.
cards,
I wouldn't. I
so
wouldn't
that
jump to
people would
underpowered yet,
immediately
just
understand
because
what their value
we've
was
only
and
seen
why
a
they
few
wanted to have it in their
cards,
deck.
and what we have
Drunk
seen
card's still good.
Yep.
Drunk
has
card is
mostly
still
been
good.
vehicles
Borderless
and things
revved
to
up
deal with vehicles, and I think
Okay, now you talked about
Because
them-
vehicles
mostly having like
are
other
kind of hit or
uses.
miss. Like
There
they
were-
aren't always super
there's
strong.
one,
That maybe
two,
seeing so many
yeah.
vehicles,
I
we're
literally
automatically
one,
going to
literally
default
one.
think,
Okay,
okay,
yeah,
these cards
one
aren't
card
that
we're gonna
good. I'd give
rule
it a
at the
little
end of
more
design
time. I'd
was
give it
for
a little more
every
time.
vehicle, I wanted to have an answer. So
Okay,
what are
this
you doing with
card,
this when you aren't
I don't
just
think
crewing it? That
Yeah.
can be an
is very
ability, a
good.
static ability.
I mean, 3 mana,
This
3/3
ended up being
flyer,
the
I guess,
only
is fine.
exception,
Maybe,
for
no,
when
is that
your
good?
white
Is a
base
3
limited
mana,
deck,
3/3
if you
flyer
wanna
even
have
good
more
on
vehicles you've
stats
drafted,
in
a lot of the cards
2025?
that
Like,
let
is
you
that
crew or
playable?
help your
It does crew
vehicles,
for one. When I look at
fits
vehicles,
in
if
here
you
to
look
float
at
around
playable
to use,
vehicles
but
in
for the most
Magic,
part, or
there's
the
two
entire
types of
game, these
playable
kind of vehicles,
vehicles.
not what you're gonna
One
do.
is
They are doing other
you
things.
have evasion and you crew on the cheap.
now
Heart
we
of
have
Kieran,
gone,
Smuggler's
I don't
Copter.
say light on vehicles. We're going to
Ether-
uncommons and common vehicles.
What is the one that gave lifelink? Whatever that that one was. I saw a ton of standard play where you could like pay an energy and give it lifelink. Aetherdrift Harvester, maybe? Something.
This
Ooh,
is a doozy.
mythic
and
vehicle.
also,
Okay.
like you just mentioned.
The other way
Callback.
is Reckoner Bank Buster. We have activated
yeah, so we
abilities,
really
but
appreciate
Valor's
the
flagship,
cycling
7
ability
mana,
here.
7/7, flying
Cycling is
in first
returning
strike
a
and
set.
lifelink.
I personally
Cycle
like
it
because it helps
for
if you're
3
playing
and
control
X.
vehicles,
When
then
you cycle it,
cycle
create
them when you're not
X
able to
1/1
free
colorless
them,
pilot creature
and it just helps
tokens.
you find the right
Blah 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 blah
mix
blah.
of
They can saddle and mount
which when you have a lot of vehicles,
better than
that
they
is super
should.
important.
Also, I should point out.
So
very
this
early
is
on,
Decree
cycling is
plus
for Amonkhet, had cycling in it.
Decree
and
plus
the funny thing is
Parhelion,
cycling
sort of.
normally, the
Is
name
this-
is very generic,
huh.
and
Yeah.
so cycling almost
I
never
feel
ever
like this might
means
see playing
flavorfully.
Greasefang.
But like
I
they were
think-
making the racing set.
So,
like, everybody
is
just
this better
wanted
than
to have
Parhelion?
cycling.
No.
And like I said,
It's
mechanically
not
it's
better
a
than
great fit.
Parhelion.
Cycling fits a lot of
Because
places well.
Parhelion just makes the
In
tokens.
design, we asked
But
what we tried a bunch
it
of
puts
variants
itself in
on
the
it. I think we
graveyard.
had bicycling
And I
motorcycling,
think
and
that's
we ended up just doing
the
cycling,
upside of
but
this
it's something-
card.
it's
That you can
kinda
just
funny to me
cycle.
that, like, there's
We
something
got
about
2
cycling
yellow
finally
borders.
finding
Okay,
flavor
we're moving
flavor
up. We're
in
moving
a
up
place
to
where, like, okay,
multiple
now
yellow
flavor
borders.
finally tie in, which
But you
is
can just
exciting.
cycle it and then Greasefang it. So I think
Miguel, I did see a
Greasefang
question in chat
probably
asking
plays
who
some
or what
number.
is Valor.
at least try some number on top
Oh,
of
Valor, this is,
Parhelion.
this is
Also
the
intriguing
flagship
for
of the
standard because we have a lot of reanimation.
So,
We got the battle that reanimates
Valor
permanents.
is a
We have some
character
artifact.
that,
Oh, what's
we have
the
not revealed
Annie
yet,
joins up?
but it's quite important
You
to
know,
deal with
one
Chiron
last
and,
job
and
that
Construct.
reanimates vehicles. So there's ways that we
And of
can
course, the
we can
the
cheat it into playing
callback
standard
here
too.
on the
I don't know how
cycling
strong it'll
is
be when you can
pretty
reanimate an
pretty
omniscience
aggressive
in standard for the same
people
price,
like
but
it.
still,
Yeah.
it seems reasonable.
Okay, so now
Ooh, mono white
we are going
Twan.
to move
That
into
actually
our
could
next
work.
mechanic.
Okay, out of the
Start your
vehicles.
engines. So Mark, tell us
Onto
about where this
Start
idea
your
originated.
Yeah,
engines.
so the concept was we knew, okay, we had the racers, the vehicles were the racers.
Okay,
but
3
we
mana.
wanted to represent the race.
Start your
And
engines.
so we really wanted a mechanic that said, okay,
Once you get
how
it
do we
maxed
feel
out
like
at
racing?
4,
What can we do that
you can sack it
feels
to
like
draw
a
2
race?
cards and discard a card,
and
tap
this-
it, add 1
this
mana of any
mechanic went through
color.
a bunch of changes.
I'm a believer in 3 mana rocks.
Early on, like the very, very
Oh,
earliest version of this,
you are
when would start
100%
a race,
right,
everybody would join the
Rolero.
race, basically.
Oh, you're 100%
And then the
right.
first person to win
The
was
Lotus
I
is
think
gonna
it was
have
like,
start your
you won a treasure or
engines.
something when you won,
And I think
the
that
idea
means
was there
Lotus
were-
is
we
gonna
liked the
be
idea of 3
unplayable.
legs because there's 3 worlds.
So
each
this
world's
isn't
a
even
leg, and
counters,
we,
so you can't like
we
proliferate.
really
I don't know
tried
if
this
there's
whole
any
thing.
shenanigans
Over time, it got
to speed
simplified a
up starting
lot,
your
as
engines.
is often
If
the
it's
case,
just straight up a
the base
Lotus, but you
design
gotta
is the
wait
most flavorful,
4
most
turns of
complex
dealing
version
damage
of
to your
it.
opponent for it
And
to
then
work.
As it gets fine-tuned through set design, play design, it
Are
gets
these
sort
cards?
of, it gets simplified a bit to make it a little more.
I feel like this
what you wanted
mechanic
to do
might
and
not
less
be that strong.
complicated.
Yeah.
I'm
Because
worried about the
idea really
slowness
is,
of it.
Okay,
Although
how
it
do
is
we
worth
get out of a race?
mentioning.
Like there's a mechanic that just cares, and there's
It's important to point out. It's
is all
important to
about
point out. Maybe it's a lot
right?
better
It's
than
one
I
in
thought
creature
because
speed. And we get and the other
start
thing
your
that was important
engines
was
is
didn't want
a
mini
static
game that took
ability,
away
right? It's
from the game
it's
engine.
like day
Like,
night.
a lot of
So
times we
you can
tested mini
play
games, it's like,
a
okay, stop
random
playing
start
your
your
normal game
engines
of Magic,
card on
go do
turn
this
1
other
or
thing,
turn 2,
and when
like
you're done,
early in the
come back.
game.
And all it did was just extend the
And
game.
then, like, play
So we
the
said, okay, well,
land.
what
Play
if
one of
we
the lands on
made
turn 1.
what
This is
was
essentially
doing
going to
some of
start
this
your
engine the
clock
game. So we
Yeah.
made it
on
about
turn
attacking,
1.
and
And then
realized
later
that
in the
racing-
game,
the idea
once
of,
you're
like,
maxed out,
your
you can just
vehicles
play this and
attacking felt very
immediately
much
have
like
its max
racing.
speed mode. So maybe
Felt
it's
like
better
it's
than I
tactics.
think
So
if you're
it
playing a
all sort
bunch
came
of cards
together.
with a mechanic.
Yannick, talk a little bit about the simplifications of this.
Yeah.
Just playing one card seems
I
kind of
really
slow.
appreciated that this gets you attacking. It makes you makes you care about doing stuff early in the game.
You can get
And
one on
when we
each of
talk
your
about
turns.
speed,
That is
we
true, but
usually
only
talk about being
one.
aggressive and
So
attacking
once
early in
per
the game,
turn,
and
as
this
long
is
as your
what the
opponent lost
mechanic
life,
rewards.
you
I
build
also
up your
appreciate
speed.
that the
Once you get to
actual
4, your
rewards
max
you put on the
speed.
card, like this
And then
ability
all
that
your
lets you
cards are
draw
going to be turned
cards,
on.
are more helpful for the late game.
Sure.
It also helps.
Crime
with
lands.
the-
Crime lands do it.
there's
Aggro
a
does it.
Weirdness with the flavor of a death race, where in moment to moment, it's very much about.
I like
going
3 mana
fast
mana
and being
rocks.
speedy,
I don't think this
but
is
it takes
enough
place over
though.
multiple days, and
Yeah.
It's only a
very efficient.
common, so
The
that's
max speed
fine. But
abilities,
I don't
helping
think
you
I
in
would
the
play
longer
this
game
one.
both help make it so that limited isn't entirely
Even though
about
it's
games
kind of
being
heater and
completed.
archive once you turn it
And
on.
show
Like
those
it's a mana rock
things
that
that
draws
help you
cards
get through it.
eventually.
of attrition.
Now, I do see some questions about how the mechanic works in chat. First of all, your best source for those sorts of rules things, there's going to be at the conclusion of this stream on dailymtg.
Yeah, in standard, if you're running into Gruul or something, I don't know if you're gonna get up to max speed before you're dead.
Real quick,
You might just be dead
So,
when you're at like 2 or something.
when you start your engines, that's just for you, not for your opponent,
Yeah,
correct?
just for you, yeah.
Okay. When
I
you
do
hit max
like-
Speed,
I like that it
it's
caps
like a
out.
threshold mechanic. You're there for the rest of the
Correct,
game.
correct.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so it's
like
kinda- it's
Speed
almost-
Blast.
Yeah.
it's-
Yeah.
The idea is you
It's
have to
almost
count
like
sort of
City's
you
Blessing.
get up to
It's
3,
almost like
basically,
City's
and then
Blessing,
don't worry
except
about it, you're there,
it's gonna
you're
just
there.
take
Okay.
time to get there. Like
Are there
rather
any ways
than
to lose
needing
speed?
permanence, you just need
There's
time.
one-
But then once
one
you achieve
thing.
it, it's
Okay.
done,
We'll
which
see soon.
that helps
Okay.
a
I
lot
don't
with
expect that to be
tracking.
part of gameplay.
Okay, that's an exception.
I mean,
to
we
the
have the
game.
lands.
All right.
The problem is
And so,
they're
yeah, the way I like to
colorless.
think about it is you just need
But
to
there are
lose
multiple
life
there
on
are
each of your
multiple
turns.
lands would start your
Once you start tracking your
engines.
speed, you're at 1.
Morgana
Once you
Raceway,
get
Amonkhet
2,
Raceway,
your next
Avishgar
speed,
Raceway.
4.
So you can just on turn
Okay,
1 play one of these to
let's
start the
move
clock.
on to our next preview card.
You still got to get in
which
damage
starts your
though.
engines, and this one is a doozy because
Ooh,
Hazaret's
Hazaret's back.
Godseeker has
Wow.
joined the
Wait,
race.
okay, okay.
First of all, before we get
Hazaret
into this
Godseeker,
card,
2 mana,
Miguel, what
5/3
does God
indestructible
care about this race?
haste. Oh.
The race goes through
Oh, it's
Hazaret's
one of
lane,
those.
so,
All right, 2 mana,
Hazaret doesn't
5/3
care about it.
indestructible haste. Start your
There's,
engines.
I could dive
Playing
into a
one
bit
tap
about
it, target
Amonkhet
creature
right
power
now.
2 or less can't be
It's playing
blocked
sort
this
of a tough
turn.
position, right?
Hazaret can't
Because,
attack or block.
It's connected to
Unless you have
Avishkar
max
by
speed.
a relatively stable own path. Avishkar is doing
Ooh.
a big sort of like soft power diplomatic push in order to insulate itself
Is
from
it?
threats in the multiverse.
Oh,
Part of that,
this is going to be one of those
big part
mechanics
of
we're going to
that
have to play
is
with.
the-
So
you
when
know,
I see this
the
card, I think,
expansion
okay,
of
I'd be good in
the
mono red.
Turbo Grand Prix out to
Except,
across multiple planes.
If I'm playing mono red or
so
Cruel,
you can see in the background there. There's
I don't know if I
racetrack
want a
modes for
card
Avishkar, right? Or, sorry,
that
both
doesn't
Amonkhet.
turn on until turn 4 or
Amonkhet,
5 or
as I
6.
mentioned,
Like,
is in a tough
I want
position.
you
They're
dead
free
by
of
that
bolus.
time.
They're-
I don't want to
they're
like
free of the
wait until
threats
turn
of
5 to
invasion.
have my
They are-
5/3.
they are
I want you
free,
dead
but
by
they
the
are
time I
on
get to
their
turn
own
5.
until Avishkar comes around, and you know, as
At the same time,
they're in a
like 2
position
mana,
where
5/3
basically
indestructible
willing to
haste is
accept,
wild.
right,
Like,
this race
this card's
coming
insane
through
off the
and,
top, right? If you can,
involving ancient
if you're not
worlds and
winning
going
on
across
turn
their
4 or
lands
turn
in
5,
exchange
and you
for,
can
like,
start your
it's
engines
a
and build it
messy
up
but
and then
mutually
play this,
beneficial, like,
off the
imperfect
top,
help,
2 mana, 5/3
to
haste
shore
is
them up now
so
or
strong.
face the unknowns
Plus, I
of
guess
the
you can get value
so Hazaret
with its
is,
target creature can't be blocked. Like,
is going
if you're
out
playing
from Mountain
prowess
Moon,
threats,
is,
slingshot show-offs, you make it
as,
unblockable and then
as
cast
Hazaret's
your
title
spell, so maybe
implies,
you can use it like a
is
spell while
seeking
you're
other
waiting.
deities, that
It
may
is
be
actually, it's a very,
like,
very interesting
may or may not
design.
be appearing.
In all the
across-
gods, it is a good
uh,
crewer, that is
using
true.
the sort of
Hazaret
the forward advance of-
knows how to
of
mount,
Grand
that's for
Prix,
sure.
to help
Oh,
you
very
out.
good fight ranking card, yeah.
Yanni, back to you on mechanics on this. This is a 2 mana.
Actually, I really
indestructible haste
like the
5/3.
design
Yep.
on Hazaret.
Yeah. This is
I just don't
one
think
that
it
is
looks like a
definitely
mono
rewarding
red
you for
card, but I
getting
don't think it's a
speed up
mono
very
red
quickly.
card.
In the debut video, we saw Vin Wix.
You can up max speed during your opponent's turn. I don't think so. If we look at one of the cards,
But this one is really rewarding you for being aggressive.
if you have no
and
speed,
I've seen
it starts
Vin
at 1.
attacking on
It
turn
increases
4 if you have
once
good
on
combination
each
effects
of
and you're
your
taking your speed
turns
management
when an
seriously.
opponent loses life.
Red
So
Red X
unless
not attacking at all.
unless there's some trick I'm not thinking of,
Just to point out,
it
we knew
seems
that
like
the focal
best
point
case
of
you
mechanics
up
was
your
racing.
speed
Mhm.
once
But
per turn,
one of the things
as
that-
long as your
one of the
opponent lost
reasons to
life,
do
but
travel in
only
the first
on
place
your
is,
turn. So
hey, we
once
are
each
on
turn
Cruise
cycle,
World,
during your
and
turn,
that
you can
it's
increase
the
it.
individual
Once you get to
card
4,
design,
you're
sometimes the
good.
cycle design that really sort of shows that off. And so this is a good example.
Is it a
where,
trigger you can
hey,
copy?
We're visiting Amonkhet. Yeah. I mean, okay, a lot of the gods didn't make it through.
It's a good
Amonkhet,
question.
But one of them did.
Yeah.
And so we get to see him. So
Maybe?
Yeah, and the group
We'll have to wait until they put out the rules. Yeah, that's the other thing we'll have to
It's not
see
a
is
yellow
maybe
border, it is-
there's a yellow
it is
Hazaret,
gold
2 yellow
foiling.
Hazarets.
Uh,
Maybe there's things that add to your
All right.
speed.
let's
Yeah, if there's
move
something that
on
speeds
to
it up,
our
that can make it
next mechanic. We've
very
already
scary.
seen it, in some of
I
the
actually
cards we
think it
were
has
looking at.
interesting
We haven't
tension.
talked
I
about
like the
it.
mechanic.
Exhaust.
I'm just having a
So,
hard time
Rocket
evaluating how
here,
strong it
Boost,
is.
Buggy
Oh, we already
again.
talked about this thing,
Where
the
did
the
exhaust
vehicle that
come
makes a
from? What do you
treasure.
wanna do with this?
The exhaust
Well, so-
mechanic.
if you read my article next week,
My
I'll do a
criticism
long
of the
version
exhaust
this.
mechanic
I'll just say the story begins. We started with energy.
is basically
and we
just
ended with exhaust.
tracking issues.
For the full story, next I'll talk about that.
Oh,
in
they
my
did.
article.
Oh, they
But,
start no
uh,
energy, no
this
energy,
was
no
not-
energy.
This exhaust happened in.
They
sections.
started
We
with
did not hand off
energy and
exhaust.
ended with
We
exhaust.
handed off energy.
Whew,
but
okay, that's at least
exhaust is
that's
something that we've talked about. For a long
That
time.
is very
Yeah,
good.
this is a
Oh,
mechanic
we do
that's been around
need
with
we
for
do need a yellow
years.
submarine.
Yeah,
That sounds like
it comes.
maybe that's too
probably
boomery of a
closest to
joke,
an
but the ghosts are
monstrous
back.
ability
Wait,
or adapt, where you just
I thought we
one-time
solved this
face
problem.
advantage
Oh, they
make
are
your creature
back.
Stronger. This did
Out
start
of here
out as
goes.
energy.
All right, there we
Luckily,
go.
of a mechanic
That
representing
card's not
fuel
the
and
booster
all the
buggy.
powerful
Boost
things that we're
buggy.
doing
Not
with,
horrible.
fuel their vehicles and bring powerful moments to the
Start
game.
your engines. I'm torn. So exhaust, I think,
energy mechanic, we tried
is a
lot of
fine
different versions
mechanic.
of it, and
My
this
only
is something
criticism
that
of
was somewhat
exhaust so
similar to this
far
exhaust mechanic,
is
where you're usually
is
paying
just
mana in addition to
tracking.
energy costs for
Like
big
the
one-time,
exhaust cards, like
abilities,
this one,
that
where
didn't work out for
when you
reasons,
exhaust
and
it, you
now
put a
we
counter
have
on it.
this
That's
use
pretty
this ability
good.
only once
But I'm
per
pretty
game
sure we
as
saw
sort of
some of
the
them as we were going
broad
through the
version
early
of the monstrous
spoilers
mechanic,
that
where we
don't
can really give
do
you any
that.
effect that you're
And I
using
think
once per game.
that's
Usually
I think
the
that's a little
uncommons and
awkward just to keep
uncommons,
track
creatures
of,
that get
especially
stronger,
in
or
Commander
creatures
with a
that turn
big
into
board when you
creature
got
and
tons of
keep
stuff
this
going on. I
counter
feel like maybe that's a little
track it.
awkward, but
Some of the effects on rares and mythics are a lot splashier, and
energy would have been awesome. There really aren't that many
flashy
cards
enough
that do anything
to
with
go in
energy.
every
Ugh.
box.
I kind of hate energy.
Good transition.
It's one of my least
So,
favorite
this
mechanics, so I'm
Draconautics
glad it's not
Engineer
there.
shows both
Ooh.
sides of that. It's got
Draconautics
capability that only
Engineer.
was 1
2
mana,
mana,
and
2
it
2.
uses a counter
Exhaust
track
of
when you
1.
use it,
Other
as well
creatures
as
you
the more
control gain
expensive
haste until end
ability
of
of
turn.
making a 4/4
Put a +1/+1
flying
counter on it. It
dragon
seems like they
dinosaur
often put a
that you're
counter
probably
on
gonna
it
remember having used.
to make sure you would know.
It's there,
Exhaust
and it's
4,
totally
create a
easy.
4/4 red dragon creature token with flying.
This is a good example.
Okay, and then I guess you have a token,
Magic
so
has
you
done
know that you
once per
activated it.
game effects before.
Yeah.
But this is really sort of consolidating it, giving a name to it. And you can notice, by the way.
I mean,
the
exhaust
reason
is
we
a
call it
fine.
exhaust
I
is-
could see this
I think
being.
originally this was called Turbo. And
I could
Turbo
see
was, like,
this
a great
being
racing
a-
term, but we knew we liked it so much, like we wanted to use it in other places. And Turbo
I could
was
see
lot
this being a
harder to
mechanic
use
they
in
use a
places
lot.
than
Yeah.
exhaust.
We've seen
And,
the
giving it a name
once
was
per
very
turn
helpful mechanically, as we
be
saw in the
really
green
prevalent the
blue
last couple
vehicle,
years.
that
Like
whenever you
that's
use an
design
exhaust
space
ability,
Wizards opened up, right?
keep
They were
this
basically
restricted
like
unnamed
they
ability
were
to work
basically
with
like
this
we
only
want this
with
design
those
space, so we're gonna start
area.
using once per turn
So
restrictions.
between
So we make
that
all these
and
new
green blue
cards.
limited
I feel like
archetypes
exhaust
are
is
a
gonna
lot
be
about
similar.
exhaust cards.
It's like once per turn, but once per game. So I bet
not
we
doing
see
a
this
partner
become a
transition
mechanic
here, 'cause we do
that's
have a
almost
green
evergreen.
card.
I would not be surprised to see
correct me if
exhaust
this is-
actually end up close
Is
to an
this the
evergreen
only way to
mechanic.
get multiple exhausts
Yes.
out of a single card?
That card
so
actually
let's
seems pretty
see
good.
this, an Elvish Refueler.
Ooh,
Yeah, so this lets you
Elvish Refueler.
use your exhaust
3 mana,
ability
2/3. During your turn, as
previously. Once
long
per
as you
turn,
have
you can use that ability
activated
that
an
you
exhaust
already
ability
used.
this turn, you may
There are
activate
other
exhaust
ways to use them
abilities.
again.
So they haven't been
Leave the
activated.
battlefield and then returns to the
Is that a
battlefield.
Panharmonicon? Does that count?
New card,
Does
but
that
the
count
game
as a
will be able to
Panharmonicon? The
use
real
it.
question.
But this is
Pay
limited
2
to
exhaust, put a
doing the
+1/+1
boss,
counter
like
on it.
your abilities to fuel
I mean,
it.
that's kind of neat. So you can infinitely exhaust itself every turn. Every turn you can activate it, or you can activate your other stuff.
We already teased that. All right, so that
You are
covers
paying a
it
3 mana,
for
2/3, which
mechanics, but that
not
doesn't
super
mean
above the
we're done
curve.
with preview cards.
Oh.
Because we just got sort of a pile of 4 cards that are cool.
Yeah.
All right, show us cool
they're
cards,
right.
Blake.
Cards in the set.
And there's
I
cool
want to
cards
see.
in
I
the
want to
set.
see some cool cards,
Uh,
not vehicles,
And
not
we haven't
exhaust,
talked
just
about
cool
Morganda
cards.
or shut off Morganda a lot, so we're going to do a little bit of that, not with this next card, but with some of these. First up, this is a card that's definitely going to turn some heads because it is reminiscent of a pretty powerful card. So let's take a look at Repurposing Bay.
Repurposing
Yanni,
Bay.
tell us about this one.
Yeah, so this is
Yellow
letting you
border.
turn your
3
artifacts
mana.
into
Pay 2
other
second on their
artifacts in your
artifact.
deck,
Search
making
your
that
library for an
value
artifact
higher.
card with mana value
You churn
equal
through
to
your deck.
1 plus the
It
second for
works
artifact.
very
Mana
well.
value. Put it
You
on the
go for
battlefield
set,
and
a lot
shuffle.
of things
Activate
that
only
enter
as a
battlefield
sorcery.
effects.
Ooh. So it's birthing
And
pod
the
for
white, blue, and
artifacts.
blue-black limited archetypes focus a lot on artifacts.
That might be
So
busted.
this
That
is
might be
one of those
busted.
strategies.
That is.
Was this always
That's
blue?
a card.
Yes.
That's a
It's
card.
always
That is a
blue.
card worth
Definitely
building
trying to be
around.
a reference to Birthing Pod.
So
but
corridor
that's
monitors already an
Now, Birthing Pod is a
artifact.
pretty dangerous place.
Ooh, we gotta look. We gotta look.
Tinker
Okay.
is a pretty dangerous
Oh, I
card.
guess you
Put
also
all
need
these
2
cards
mana.
together, How do we feel about this?
You do need
card
2
going into
mana.
it?
Yeah, shout out to Play Design for sticking with me for this one. Conveniently, a lot of our
I feel
most
like this
competitive players
card.
have a
This
lot of
card's pretty
nostalgia for
exciting though.
Birthing
I feel
Pod,
like this
so
card.
they were happy to
Maybe
put
it
this card
flops,
through
but
its
it's at
paces, which
least
was
gonna be
very
worth
good.
building around.
Will be off the. This will 30 seconds from now. Someone will have thought of some combos. from this,
Yes.
and they'll be all.
And-
I mean, so
And-
the question
No,
is,
this card looks really sweet.
do we have the pieces to go infinite with it?
Decks. Next up, we have a returning card that I don't think anyone would
Wait,
have
returning
called,
card.
but it's awesome. So let's see the return of
Bloodghast.
Bloodghast.
Yeah.
Okay.
Returning is right.
Okay.
This card
Wow, look
ended
at-
up
oh, that
here
treatment's so
because One of
cool.
the play designers, Ben Whites, came to me and said, "I thought this was
Wow,
really cool cool in
That art
Pioneer,
is
and I
so
was like,
sweet.
Sure, I'll put it in the set.
I
Probably
love
probably
that
somebody
art.
will tell me not to. And
That
again,
art's
nobody
so
told me not
good.
to.
I mean,
I
Bloodgas
mostly
is
appreciate it
that is a
because he's
real
actually
card.
pretty good at
Bloodgas
killing
is
vehicles.
very, very
He always comes
strong.
back
Yep.
from the graveyard when you need him.
Yep.
We saw in the debut video a black vehicle that has crew 2.
I don't know about
Either
this
start
art. What
cards,
is
so it's great
that?
for
Does not
Rainbow
look like a
Sky.
vampire to me.
I also
That does not
appreciated
look
some
like a vampire
spirits
even a
I
little.
find.
That looks
That
like
didn't really make any
some sort of
sense in what we've
jackal or
seen of
something.
Avatar or Amonkhet. So it was nice
Yeah,
to
that
have
is a
Morgana
random
with more of a
inclusion in the
wild card
set.
lane where I could just go to
Why?
and be like, can I have a vampire spirit somewhere?
I mean, I guess it's a good
Sure, it exists on
crewer.
Morgana.
It's like a
Yeah, Miguel,
recursive
tell us the
crewer
Bloodghast,
where you can.
Muruganda thing?
Oh, it's a rat fink.
Yeah, so
It's a recursive
Muruganda
crewer.
is,
Which
think
is
I said
kinda
it up top,
cool.
and if I didn't say it, I was thinking it. Muruganda, like one of the benefits of coming to a place like not entirely blank page.
I'm
where
not
there's a couple
sure.
art
I'm not
rights,
sure if
you can
there's. So you
really
got corridor
be,
monitor.
on the world building.
You
creative
pod in
side.
the corridor
Just do
monitor.
a ton to
Untap
say,
it.
like, to throw forward.
If you have
right,
like
to future
infinite
make it a
mana,
future set's
I think
problem.
you can copy with
Basically,
artifact.
yeah,
You
that
can
sounds
copy.
cool.
You can copy with
Muruganda does have
artifact
spirit
birthing pod, but
vampires.
you're gonna need a
Miguel
lot of
in,
mana.
X number of years, figure out what that means. And I'm
So you get
very
corridor
excited
monitor,
to do that.
untap it.
We have so much about Muruganda.
Get.
I personally worked on.
Is there a
and a
3?
few other folks worked on as well. That is like.
I
Kind
don't know
of
if there's a
core for the
3
set,
you can get.
but,
What does this
will
do?
live on,
A beginning of each end step,
you know,
untap each
on
artifact
teams.
creature.
Morgana is a throw forward set.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
future sight,
Yeah.
just like
Future
okay.
sight here.
Okay, hey,
yeah.
there's
Yeah, we're gonna have to
dinosaurs
work
that
on
we
the
made,
birthing
Hey,
birthing
there's
pod.
oozes.
Yeah.
Hey, there's-
Yeah.
Mark, I know you talk about keywords returning here and
Is
there.
that is that a
as well.
Hearthstone card?
This card says landfall.
Yes.
How do you feel about that?
Rat.
Well, so
Oh,
there's two
rat
things going
fink.
on.
Yeah.
One is
Oh,
we just upped the
I don't even
minimum
know what
usage
rat fink
for
is,
mechanics.
but that's pretty
even
sweet.
Though cycling is official part of the set in a much bigger way. Cycling, landfall, flashback. There's just some mechanics that we've sort of said, hey, these are just such key mechanics.
What if you
When
cheat
bring
on
them back,
mana
we can
cost
bring
with
back small number. They're
prototype?
just very useful.
Yeah.
You know, they
Oh,
show the
that's a
foundation,
cute
stuff
way
like
to
that.
do it. Yeah, I mean, I
So
think the artifact
there's
birthing
that. The other
pod.
thing is the
It
set
seems
does-
good as a
we
value
started
play,
doing
right?
what
Like
we
you
call
can
cameos.
definitely use it that
What
way,
a
where
cameo is
you
that
just are like,
usually
I'm gonna
it's a
sack
higher
my
rarity.
prototype,
We'll
get a
do
big
one-off
thing. It's
old
gonna be
mechanics
sweet.
that just are very
I think
flavorful and
that
make a lot of
that
sense.
for
In
sure,
this
I think
particular place,
will
hey, we
will
have a
work.
bunch of worlds that we
Whether or
made
not you can
before that we
infinite
make
combo, where
reference
it's
to.
like, okay, activate
And
this,
so,
get the right
not
thing,
that
untap
landfall
it, get the
specifically
next
is
thing,
this,
and
but
like
there
set
are
up some
definitely
combo.
cameos
That I
of,
haven't figured out yet. That might be
Avatar and
that might be
Amonkhet mechanics.
trickier.
Morgana doesn't really have mechanics. Although we did tease the vanilla thing a little bit, the vanilla matters theme. But like you definitely will see some stuff like that. So there's some returning mechanics.
Yeah, I'm
that
almost
aren't
surprised. This
follow
almost
you,
seems like
but they're in
secret
small
lair
numbers,
art.
just
Like
nod,
if
hey,
this
we're
was a
in
secret lair
Avatar,
drop,
we're in Amonkhet.
I don't think anyone
Yeah,
would
in the
think
debut
twice
video,
of
we
it.
saw the Baz recap card
Hot Wheels
that
collab
exert the Amonkhet
seems like a
mechanics.
possibility.
We thought about doing.
There's got to be
similar
some
things,
sort
actually,
of
just using sun counters,
Mario
but we
Kart,
really
Hot
decided,
Wheels,
this
something
would
like
be
that.
a
Secret lair drops.
cool thing to do.
Where's the Lotus?
Now we've got a removal spell that's actually pretty good friends with Bloodghast.
Mm-hmm.
So let's take a look
Okay.
at
Quag Feast.
Uh,
2 mana. Choose target creature,
Yeah,
planeswalker,
this is
or
mostly here to
vehicle.
support the
Mill
black
2 cards,
green
then
archetype,
destroy.
which is about filling your graveyard, as well as to work with cards like Bloodghast.
Mill 2
which is a
cards.
removal spell that also gets you
Then
some
destroy the
foil,
chosen
which is very
permanent if its
valuable
mana
for
value is less than or
strategy.
equal to the
And
number
you'll
of cards
notice,
in your
of course, as far as
graveyard.
killing vehicles
Yeah.
as well as planeswalkers. We wanted to make
So,
sure that there were some
chat.
answers in the set to the strong vehicles.
I hate this
that are
card. I hate this card.
yeah, very
It's a.
simple, interesting.
What are
spell,
vehicles,
but
chat?
if
What are
you know
vehicles?
Bloodghast, you've done
What
the
card
thing.
type
Mhm.
are vehicles?
All right.
Vehicles are
Whatever the drawing mechanics,
artifacts.
whatever our theme is,
What is the
we'll just
one
see if
thing
it's
that black is not?
You'll just see us mix
I
it
know.
up.
They kill
It's
enchantments
more
now,
positive,
despite
negative. Like, there'll be more
despite
answers
my
to it,
best
but also there'll be more
best
different
attempts.
with it.
And now we're getting
All right.
black
our
artifact
final
destruction.
preview card.
Yeah, being a sorcery
Now
means the
that
card
we're
probably
gonna
isn't
go,
that
we
good.
talked about
But
dinosaurs. Here is
Ingornosaur
Anganosaur
Rex.
Rex.
Gornosaur Rex.
all left
5
handed
mana,
dinosaurs,
8/8.
so
5 mana,
fairly
8/8.
positive.
Trample,
We've got an
cycling a 3. When you
8/8
cycle this card, put 2 counters on up to
Trampler
one target
for
creature or
5
vehicle
mana
against
with
trampling and
cycling
destruct.
that does a thing when it cycles.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't 5 mana 8/8 trample
Morgana
super above the curve
had
still?
a few
Like,
things we wanted to
is that
reference,
not still
but
very
the biggest
big?
thing of all is PvP
That
risk,
still seems
and
very
these cards
big.
really try to focus on that.
It probably doesn't matter in the world of Sunfalls and
dinosaurs,
removal
yeah.
spells.
It's a
But
dinosaur.
good lord,
It's
5
got
mana
some
8/8 with
fantastic
upside
flavor
of
text
using it like a
results
spell to
Yeah, portal is
to give a creature
Oh,
indestructible.
just- we didn't talk a lot
It's
about
probably
that.
not going to
One
matter
of the
as
things
far
that
as
does
competitive
is there's a
play.
lot of traditional
But
cycling, also
Lord
there's
is
lot
Is that a
of,
lot of stats? That
generate
is a
effect
lot
cycle,
of
so sort of, like,
stats.
makes it kind of a more
Also,
fun, like, get the creature
Jackie
oriented
Natona,
kind of
welcome to the
developed.
Fishbowl. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for your subscription.
All right.
Thank you.
That covers all the preview cards
That's
we
it.
have. We have a couple minutes if people have questions.
All right.
You can put them in chat, tag @magic.
Apparently that's all the spoilers. If you want to see the rest of the WotZ Easter egg, you can watch it over at twitch.tv/magic. We're gonna look at the cards, and then we're gonna have to do a spoiler video here in a minute. But let's look at this again. So chat.
A card or where
Chat. I always ask you your hype level. What's your hype level now? Now that we've seen some of this, I know going into it, it was a lot of like 4s, 3s, 5s, like kind of lower, a little bit below average for a lot of people. Did seeing the cards up, down, did it change it? Did it change it from where it was before? Did it shoot up? Did it go down? I think this set looks really interesting. I feel like this is a set that is going to be very tricky to evaluate. I feel like the mechanics, some of them are pretty wonky. Some of them are pretty weird. Like the start your engines mechanic, even the exhaust mechanic, they're pretty unique in the sense that we don't really have great comparisons for them, especially start your engines. I could see that being super crazy staple level busted, or maybe it's not actually very good at all because it's too slow. It's very difficult to tell. I think this set, what's the best card? What's the best card of the day? If I have any concern, there's a lot of cool cards. There's a lot of cards I'm excited to try. So far, I don't know if I can pick out like, okay, here's the runaway best card from the set. Like, what would you say the number one card of the day is? I'm actually not sure. I see a lot of cards that are like kind of good-ish maybe, or have potential, but I don't see like the one. Loot is actually probably busted. It probably is. It even has vigilance. Yeah, loot's actually insane, isn't it? So at 6 mana, you play loot, you smack your opponent for 4, then post-combat you draw 3 cards or deal 3 damage. It even has double strike, so you can do some tricks with this card. Where you get to 6 mana, you attack with it. After your opponent blocks, you let first strike damage resolve, then activate it to deal 3 damage to kill the blocker. There's some play to this. Okay, so loot's on the short list. The lands really intrigue me. The lands really intrigue me. I feel like the start your engines lands might be really good. Dandy Floss, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big zip for you. Thank you. Isn't Loot the Lotus? So I believe, let me see. I believe that Mark Rosewater's teaser, let me see if I can find it. I believe the teaser said a card with Lotus in the name. So it says New Lotus. I think that New Lotus means Lotus is in the name. I think we know what the card is. I think it's super obvious now. New Lotus. It's super simple. Now that we've seen the mechanics, and someone in chat said this earlier, so shout out to them. Here's what the New Lotus is. I would bet my house on this. New Lotus, probably 0 mana. Could be 1 mana. 0 would be better, though. 0 mana artifact. Sack it, make 3 mana. Start your engines. That's it, right? Like, you can only activate it when you have max speed. So you play it on turn 0. You got to wait until you get max speed. Then you sack it for 3 mana. I think that would actually be it would be kind of fair. And you can't even get around it, right? It's not like Lotus Bloom or something where you can cheat on suspend by cascading into it or whatever. Like this one, you can't even cheat. We haven't seen a way to cheat on, at least so far. I would bet it all on that being the Lotus. Some design very similar to that. It's gotta be. Exhaust is just a mechanic where you do the thing the card says, but you can only activate an exhaust mechanic once in the game. So if you have Boom Mobile, and you use this exhaust mechanic, which is pay 3 and X to have the vehicle deal X damage to any target, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Once you use that once, you can't activate it again during the game. However, there are some ways around it. If you can blink it or reset it in some way, have it leave the battlefield, return, bounce it back to your hand, replay it, then you could obviously use it again. Do we know if Start Your Engine creates a trigger? We do not know yet. They're supposed to be publishing the rules article. Hopefully that will tell us if it's a triggered ability. I'm actually not sure if it's a triggered ability or not. I think the yellow borders are a highlight for me. Seeing Bloodghast back is actually really sweet. Bloodghast kind of a decent reprint. Still like, well, I guess not that much because of the LCI reprint, but interesting. Why did they put Bloodglast in the set? That's so weird. It's got to be a plant for the future. It's got to be that we're getting a vampire set like a year from now. I think the other thing that's really important, and we got to look at this real quick, and then I'm going to go do the spoiler video, but keep in mind, one of the upsides of 3-year standard is we're going to get to see more synergies between old sets and new sets. So the next sets that are going to be rotating out of standard, Dominaria United, Brothers War, Phyrexial will be one, March of the Machines, and also Aftermath. What were these sets primarily about? If you look at Brothers War, if you look at even Phyrexial will be one, March of the Machines, there's a lot of artifact stuff going on in these sets. So I think maybe this set's going to make a lot more sense in the context of forgotten artifact synergy pieces that we got from these older sets. Someone mentioned Prototype earlier, working with the artifact birthing pods, stuff like that. So I think it's going to be really important to look back through with these old sets that care about artifacts and see, because we've seen Wizards do this in the past. We see when we get in your rotation, Wizards print something that boosts up the last set that's going to rotate next. So that might be what's happening here as well. But I think the set looks super cool. I'm going to have to dig into this set. I still don't have, outside of maybe Loot, that one card where I'm like, okay, this is the chase card of the set. Maybe we haven't even seen that card yet. But all around, I think maybe it's the Aetherspark. Maybe the Aetherspark's a busted card. There's so many cards in this, more so than any set. I've come away from today feeling like, okay, this card's either busted or it's unplayable. We see that with like the Aetherspark. We see it with Start Your Engines. There's a lot of cards that I'm intrigued by and might be really, really good, but we're just going to have to play with them to actually figure it out. So, oh, there's a new god here. Okay, let's see. A new god. And then, and then I'm going to have to do some YouTubing. So let's see. Where's our new god? Click here to meet Sebsunin, Luxa Embodied. 5 mana, 6/6, reach, trample, indestructible. It can't attack or block unless it has an even number of counters on it. At the beginning of your first main phase, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Then, if it has an odd number of counters on it, draw 2 cards. Wait, that card's just really good, isn't it? Is that a frog mummy? That is a frog mummy, I think. Wait, is that card not good? So okay, set aside that we're in stand. You know what it reminds me of actually is it reminds me of Bounty of the Luxa. Oh, that's actually super cool. It's the god of Bounty of the Luxa. Bounty of the Luxa was kind of similar. At the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, remove all the flood counters from it. If no counters are removed, put a counter on it, and then draw a card. Otherwise, you have 3 mana. So this is the god of Bounty of the Luxa. Oh, that's actually kind of a neat callback. I feel like this is just a good card, isn't it? So discounting Sunfalls and the fact that there's exile removal that gets around indestructible, which is something that just exists in all of Standard. A 5 mana 6/6. I guess the downside is, actually no. So 0 is an even number. So you play this as a 6/6 indestructible blocker. The next turn, you put a counter on it, draw 2 cards, and it can't block that turn or attack that turn. But you draw 2 cards, and then the next turn, it's going to be an 8/8 that can attack or block, and the next, I think the design is really good. The design is really good. And I will say that about a lot of these cards. Even some of the cards where we're like, how good is its power level going to be? Is it going to be strong enough for Standard? I think the designs look really neat. I think the vehicle designs look really neat. Even the new Hazoret. The Hazoret's another card. Ever since we've seen this Hazoret, I just am racking my brain like, is this card great because it's so cheap? Is it bad because it takes so long to turn on? Where do you play it? Is it like really good, but it's not a mono red card because mono red's too fast for it, even though it looks like a mono red card? And to me, I think that is the sign of a good design, right? When you're having to think through all the possibilities of a card, that's where I want cards to be. I want cards like that rather than just here's an Oko or an Uro just blatantly busted. What about, okay, Draconic Engineer? Someone said this was the best card in this set so far. 2 mana 2/2. Pay 1, give your creatures haste until end of turn, and it becomes a 3/3. And then pay 4, make a 4/4. I think pay 1, give your creatures haste could have uses. I'm always looking, there's certain combos, right, where you really want a creature that's going to haste in your team. I guess we have the Imodane's Recruiter in Standard right now, which might be better depending on the deck. But this for 1 extra mana to just give your team haste for the turn, there's certainly uses for that, for sure. Yeah, I wonder if we get any other good reprints. Anything else other than Bloodghast. But on that note, everyone, I think that brings, I'm losing my voice from my for my congestion, so I'm gonna have to get a drink. But on that note, everyone, I think that brings us to the end of our stream for today. I am going to
showcase cards. Yep.
I'm going to get my voice fixed and then do a spoiler video for the YouTube. Do you think that Bloodghast will make Dredgeless viable in Pioneer? It definitely helps. It's one of the best graveyard cards, one of the most important graveyard cards for various combos. I think it's going to be worth trying, at least, thanks to Bloodghast. When before it wasn't even worth trying. Yeah, we might be raiding some CGB today. So reminders on the way out the door. Replay YouTube. That's where you can find all the old streams, including this one in the future. Normal YouTube spoiler video coming soon and going every day for the rest of the set. And one more reminder that our sponsor day is Card Kingdom. If you need some magical cards, you get them over at cardkingdom.com/mtggoldfish. Most importantly, thank you to all of you. I know there's tons of places to watch spoilers, tons going on. I appreciate y'all hanging out today. Sorry I'm losing my voice. We'll be back next week for another one. Check out the YouTube for the spoiler video. Until then, everyone, enjoy Aetherdrift. I love y'all, and I will talk to you soon.